the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight, Boise State looks to get back on track in the UAL against Northeastern. Both teams finished top 32 in LoL in the spring season. The Broncos lost last week, unfortunately, 1-2 to Texas, and they're ready to prove themselves and just hoping to finish the deal for their first win tonight. I, of course, am your host, Jared Baratel Castiglione, joined by possibly brand new face here. We have Alton Siphon Dills joining me on the desk to call the action.
Well, it's good. You know, it's good to be here. It's exciting. I'm very excited. That's why I jumped the gun
gear and everything. They hooked you up with a shirt. We got to talk about me about getting another one, but it's all good. And you know, I got a quick question for you. I got to pick your brain. World started today.
Yeah.
Some of you may have seen some of the action there at the grand stage, and I was wondering whether or not that kind of high-tier echelon of play, the top dogs, if you will any of that leak into what we're going to see today?
I think we might see it a little bit. I know you and I were talking about it before we got started here. I definitely think some, in terms of maybe picks, could definitely do that depending on if they fit a team's style, the way they want to play the game, how they're best playing it out. Maybe a few champion picks, specifically Galio and Camille, like we were talking about.
Right. And those two in tandem are such a great combo, right? You say, this person's locked in this cage. You can come down and punch them as much as you want to here. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be something that we'll see for sure. Both these teams can kind of come at things at their own style and their own pace. We saw last week that a Rengar pick that threw everything for a Tiffy, and the Graves mid was much to both our surprise here on the desk, as well as most likely the roster surprise. The Boise State Broncos really struggled against that. So thinking outside the box, especially when you have a clear-cut meta, if you will, always a great idea to kind of be adaptable.
Yeah, it's definitely really important, and I think that's what they're definitely going to have worked on and kind of understood a little bit better from their last week's game coming into this week. And I think they've definitely got a few preparations I think that they've made in order to be successful and best prepared to deal with some interesting picks that we might be seeing today.
Always hope that we see the horse here at the Broncos. Hecarim, especially, maybe seeing some attention from the pros. The developer is going to see some buffs here in the near future, but that's not really the case as that has yet to hit live. Always nice to see, though, opportunities for that. Check out my water bottle here. It does say my name on it. Pretty cool. And both these teams thirsty for their wins as they continue to fight through this bracket. Again, Boise State versus Northeastern, and we'll have to see who is going to reign supreme. It is, again, a best of three. That's, I think, the best option when it comes to these competitive matches. Best of ones, I think, are so uninformed. You can't really gather information from the enemy team. You can't really develop, the ability to adapt. It's just a kind of one and done. So these best of threes are personally my favorite.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think that they provide the best platform on, was it actually a one-off game, or can they actually string it together? Can they be consistent, in their performance? And I think, that definitely also helps with things when you have random surprise picks or wacky picks. If they are able to win a game with that one, but then the next game is taken away and all of a sudden they can't do it, well then obviously their depth in terms of being able to play a lot of other champions aren't necessarily as strong as just being able to get those one or two. So I definitely think it provides more meaningful answers on who actually is the strongest team week to week.
Yeah, it's like mentally playing the guitar. You get your calluses all figured out, as we do see the rules here for this UAL competition. Best of three, as we said, 5 versus 5. It's on the Rift. No Vex this week either, so we'll end up seeing whether or not she'll come alive next week. BSU, Boise State University, is going to be on the blue side for game 1, and then from that point forward, loser will choose the side afterwards. And hopefully we don't see too many of those map picks and side picks, because that means Boise State will have to go to a game 3. As much as we love the action, we want the boys in blue and orange to take this one home.
Yeah, definitely. So, like you said, hopefully we don't have to see too many of those. And starting on the blue side, that can only be a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's typically, I think it's the most winningest side statistically overall, but maybe there'll be a one day where a team's just the best on red side and you can't give it to them because they're just too powerful on the other side of the map. I don't know a lot of people, well, maybe I do, that like to read from right to left, manga, if you will. That's always a huge thing.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not enough. I personally don't like being on the red side because I can't see backwards. I have to turn my monitor upside down to start playing correctly, and it doesn't end up working out.
Yeah.
It's always every time I play Ezreal, too, so I'm shooting backwards. Never a good time. as we see the draft coming out here, and I do believe it's getting nice and spicy for both teams. And we were kind of questioning before we started the broadcast whether or not an emphasis on enchanter bans would be the case. Boise State is going for the throat here. Soraka, Lulu, Aurelia being one of the maybe powerful solo laners on the side of Northeastern being taken away, and Thresh, Rumble, big surprise there, and Set being taken away from the Boise State Broncos.
Well, you know, I think starting with the Soraka and the Lulu portions, obviously they're very strong, you know, in their own right. Enchanters obviously are really important to a lot of team compositions, and, you know, they're going to be really important to, and specifically supports who prefer the Enchanter style, so taking those away going to be a big deal as well.
Here comes the Galio, but we see Boise State drafting that first pick. Lee Sin saw just tearing up the Rift last week against the Longhorns, so we'll have to see if they still have that confidence to do so and still can impact the map in much the same way. Galio is a pretty tricky force to try and gank, though. He's naturally tanky, can interrupt the mobility of Lee Sin, and if he can get him with that Justice Punch, Lee Sin's going to be stopped in their tracks. And with that being the ADC most lightly picked, don't very often see Misfortune mid. That could ultimately be the bottom lane first drafted here from Northeastern.
Yeah, definitely could be. I really like that Lee Sin, but I'll come back to that one in just a moment. The Galio Misfortune, very strong picks to start off the draft here for Northeastern. The Galio's power pick, like you mentioned, but the Misfortune, I'm a little surprised they wanted to pick this early without even seeing the AD carry matchup first, or trying to hold that one as long as possible, or at least even to the third pick before we get to the second half of ban phase.
On the other side, Boise State drafting the patented Bard Ezreal combo. We've seen in the past multiple Bard bans being against Boise State, and we were kind of putting a question mark on the map as to why. Lo and behold, Lightpulse being one of the better Bards in North America, I think that's a reasonable ban. You take away their Thresh, leave the Bard open. We'll see how kind of they influence the map. Always such a great thing as well, because of the fact that Bard can be anywhere. He can be that kind of roaming presence that they may need to influence other lanes. And Camille being picked up on the other side here from Northeastern. It's going to be a brawl in the top lane.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough, top half to try to figure out there, because you already have two of the three of the champions we already mentioned for how strong they are right now, but also, so much so that the pros were playing them earlier today. Galio, Camille, very strong, and Camille's going to be a very tough ask to try to solve here, so it's going to be interesting to see how Boise State looks to try to attack and looks to take down Northeastern here with the rest of their final two picks.
Continues to chip away at the support pool. Ultimately, this can be a Galio flex support or mid. Doesn't necessarily rescind him to the bottom lane. So continuing to eliminate these Enchanter supports, Boise State wants to make sure that they don't have that comfort pick. And Jin Zhao will round out the bans for the Broncos. Whereas on the other side of things, Northeastern picking up Cassidon and Cassiopeia. I think that maybe just for the namesake. I don't really see oftentimes the Broncos play those two champions, but it's possible. But that leaves open the big question mark whether or not they opt for an Orianna Lee Sin combo on the Broncos side.
It was definitely possible. I think that knowing that who the mid lane matchup will be, it makes that decision a little bit easier. I think a little bit clearer for the Broncos here, and it looks like they're also going to get clarification on the jungle, and that's that's a spicy one up in the top side.
That champion is could be troublesome, we'll say. When played well in great hands, really does well to do isolated damage, but also really fantastic to set up the team fight. And based off the rest of the other champions so far drafted from Northeastern, it looks like that's exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, I can see. I think we can see how Northeastern is going to want to play this one out here, and Boise State is going to respond in kind with their own picks. And it looks like we're going to get the LeBlanc Shen, which is going to be very interesting. I like the LeBlanc here. I definitely think they needed some more firepower in the mid lane. The Shen, though, I'm not too sure about, only because it just gives you one less avenue to try to play through as you're going through the early to mid game. Yeah,
I mean, that just means that Bard's going to be kind of mid-focused, and we see the Sona coming out. Couldn't get all the enchanters out of the way, and she will rear her muted head. Much maybe to the chagrin, that's another kind of extra bit of firepower in the team fight for the Northeastern team. But to be fair, with the way that this squad looks, if Ascent can get ahead, there's not a lot of champions that can survive the LeBlanc burst combo.
Yeah, definitely the case, and I think that's something to keep in mind as well. With the immobility of that Misfortune, Bartle will be instantly able to shut her down, pick her out, even with the Sona speed up, unless that Sona speed up is going to be early enough. You know, she's not going to be able to get out of the way in time, and then you also have to consider as well that Sona herself is also pretty immobile, so she can get picked on as well.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos definitely have drafted in good responses. I think the Shen, while it does give you one less avenue to play through, in my opinion, through the early to mid game, I think the global ulti will end up making a huge difference to them, as it allows them to kind of match side lanes without too much worry, since he can easily join with 2 teleports.
Right, and I think another thing too is the fact that the Broncos have drafted in a way that can be almost expertly reactive to the engage here from Northeastern. You have the Bartle. If anyone gets Hextech ultimatum, you just cover them with that zone. Galio may come in, but he won't be able to do things if he times things incorrectly. The Lee Sin kick. You have the Shen stand united. Ezreal's going to be the most slippery guy ever, and Bard has that magical journey. But here is the lineup for the Broncos. Elodad, we've seen him all last week. Elodad, Mortar, Ascent, Goblin, and Light Pulse coming in huge here. And again, we'll see whether or not they can pull things together as we see this. This, of course, is the lineup brought to you by Count. Count's Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. And, I mean, with Count on their side, you gotta worry whether or not they're going to be protected. This is so much damage on the side of Northeastern, but I think they got the tools to do so, to deal with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think something that is a bit underrated is just the outplay potential from the side of Boise State is definitely there. I think with the LeBlanc and the Ezreal, there's a lot of creativity there. Bard and Lee Sin as well adds a lot of creative avenues here, so while it is a bit more of a tougher composition to look to execute, I think the outplay potential here to try to overcome the amount of damage that they will be facing is definitely possible, like you mentioned. I mean, obviously, if they get Hextech ultimatum, they can get placed in the Bard zone, and then they won't be doing too much. The Galio ulti could come down, but the only thing he'd be really doing is that damage reduction for the moment. Ezreal's very slippery, with the with his E as well as with the flash as well, so he's not really going to be in too much of a dangerous position all the time. And then you have the LeBlanc, who's also very mobile herself. So it's going to be really tough to kind of get onto those carries that I think and I think that's why BSU's positioned themselves well, especially for that counterattack kind of style.
Yeah, you're definitely right, but there, of course, are other ways to influence the game. Doc's keys to the game for League of Legends would be focus a strong comp. I think both teams have done that. Play to your comp. We'll see who will. Remember your win con and Dragon Control. Of course, Doc's keys of the game are brought to us by Drop In Gaming. Drop In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or you're a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. I'm going to do it right after this match, I think.
Yeah,
I have to. I got to get my game on.
Sounds like a good deal.
And just a reminder for you folks there, it's going to be Boise State versus Northeastern in this, I wouldn't say do or die, but definitely do or lose situation. And, when it comes down to it, you look at the kind of macro of the game. We see a lot of these teams kind of have an identity to their plan for success. Dragon Control, maybe getting a Rift Herald here or there. Boise State, as well as last week's combatants, the Longhorns, really did put a huge emphasis on rotating resources through mid to maybe make a pit stop and then right to that Rift Herald. So we'll have to see whether or not that's going to remain being the case. Rift Herald is such a fantastic boon for the pockets of who can secure her.
Yeah, and you also have to consider, how you use it as well. It's not just the dragon. You kill it, you get your boost, and you're good to go. You don't have to have the extra step of you've got to be able to plan it out in order to get, at least a decent bit of gold out of it.
Right.
You have to think about where you're going to put it down. Are you going to use it to just take a tower out? Are you going to use it to only just take the gold immediately? You got to think about how you want to do it and plan it out a little bit more. So Rift Herald is a bit more of the higher level of you've got to be able to think about how best you want to use it to open up the map properly, whereas Dragon, you kind of just walk in and you can get it.
Right.
But I think that if those that can do it well, there's just free money laying around the map, and if you're able to use it right, you're going to be gaining big leads over your team, over the opponent in no time.
And this is kind of the bigger question mark when we mention neutral objectives. Is all 3 games we saw last week had a Mountain Drake with a Mountain Soul for the map. If we see the same thing, I mean, it's going to be great for some champions. Camille will be able to be a little bit more slippery. Lee Sin, all the more need for the ward, jumps and ward dashes. But whether or not they are going to maybe see, a Cloud Drake coming through, the ultimate reduction could be huge for either team. So we will have to see whether or not that's going to be the case and what Drake likes to claim dominance over the Rift this matchup. Do you have a favorite Drake? Mine, personally, Infernal.
Yeah, I agree. Infernal is always the best because more damage is always going to be it can never not have enough damage on the map. And I think Infernals also force teams to make those tougher decisions a lot more versus like if it's a cloud or a mountain or maybe an ocean, they're more content to let it go on that 4th and final one. That could be the soul point. I think they're more willing to just let it go, and I think that's a big thing where if it's an Infernal Dragon, that damage buff is so insane that you have to fight for it, and it's do or die, and most of the time they could come out on top most of the time.
I think that is a great point. It adds so much damage to even champions and builds that might not have it. Shen does a fair amount of, trade damage there in the top lane, but he gets 1, 2, even 3 Infernal Drakes under his belt, and he's able to take the 1v1 to Camille or whoever else wants to be up there just by base damage alone. Same thing for Galio. I mean, we may end up seeing that hyper-focused, AP build, the one that does the one shot with Justice Punch in the wings, but more often than not, we see Aftershock be used. We see maybe even Frozen Fist or Iceborne Gauntlet, if you will. It really does depend on whether or not they know that they have that backup of the damage through the objectives that they want to secure, or if they do have to invest their gold into doing the damage otherwise.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and I think that's going to be an interesting point to kind of watch is what is this Galio going to do? Because I think how this mid lane matchup will go early will definitely provide a lot of direction on how the game will play out, because this Galio is obviously not really looking to play for lane. He's looking to try to roam and most presumably going topside with how strong the Kiana and Camille topside is going to be. And I think that will definitely determine how this at least the early mid portions will go.
And just a reminder for you folks joining in, this is the matchup between Boise State and Northeastern. And we see as we get into the Rift that nothing too uncommon has laid claim on the map. No weird invades. We're going to see standard builds. Yeah, looks pretty standard across the board. We do often see that now ADCs don't want to pick up any of the Doran's items. The longsword just gives you so much of a more safe and sustainful laning phase, getting the 3 potions as opposed to the 2. And that and the fact that longsword builds into pretty much every ADC item gets you a jump start on that as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that the gold you save and getting the extra potions as well is a big deal. More sustain for for yourself.
The late invade, actually.
There's no one there though.
No one's there. They went straight to lane. It looks like it's going to be the blue buff regardless. Taken Boise State going a little cheeky with the invade. I wonder if they go full bar retreat and get their own blue to go for the 3 buff. Always a great feeling as a jungler to get that triple buff, because you really feel more powerful just by having 4 extra gold, 4 extra camps.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's going to be important as well, considering this Lee Sin's probably going to be a big driver on what they're going to be able to do early game here and help them kind of get online here, as they are going to need that Ezreal and LeBlanc to kind of give them a second to allow them to build up enough damage.
Nice done. So much damage coming into the bottom lane will force the flash and the summoner heal coming out as well. Boise State, this is why we picked the Bard. You get the 1 binding, and there goes all your health bar. And you had mentioned it before we got into the game itself. When it comes down to it, Siphon, Sona is very squishy, and we just saw how.
Yeah, definitely so. It was a great stun right there, by the Bard, and that ends up leading to a lot of damage.
Oh my gosh, the flash ignite, the auto attack will be there, and Light Pulse will take first blood away. This is the Boise State squad. This is completely different than what we saw last week. We saw Goblin on a champion after champion build that was all about supporting the team, and now that he's putting himself in the focus and driver's seat with the backup from Light Pulse on the Bard, this is just tearing things up.
Well, I think we could see why he's one of the best. I mean, the level of aggression and confidence we're seeing out of Lightpulse to just start the game right there. He hit 2 or 3 bindings right away, which ended up giving them complete lane control. And from there, it was just putting them in Northeastern into a dangerous position. And it was a good job there by Goblin, getting just enough damage down to allow Lightpulse to flash forward, get that Ignite auto down, and get the kill.
This is a dangerous sign already here for Northeastern. The Tear of the Goddess at 3 minutes being picked up by yours truly, Goblin. And in the bottom lane, there is a fair difference in CS. Not too much, of course, but enough to start stacking things up. And as we kind of look at the rest of the lanes, we see all things are going Boise State's way in CS across both top, mid, and the jungle as well. What I find interesting is Kiana, going through personal experience myself, don't want to take her in the mid lane because that's where the enemies are. I would like to, when she first came out, I tried her in the jungle, and she does not have a great time clearing because she doesn't have sustain. She doesn't have a way to keep herself healthy after the camps, but her damage is so high that after like level 3, 4, she's fine. But those are moments that Lee Sin can capitalize on.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've already seen that a little bit.
Look at this. Going through the magical journeys here, but where's Miss Fortune going to go? She has no summoners. Sona instead will be the target, and she's not long for the world. Mortar will pick up one. He doesn't even need eyes to see that one. And Boise State will go 2-0 so far on the Rift.
Great work right there. I mean, that was a great job by Goblin and Lightpulse. They're selling that. They were roaming out Lightpulse to try to go collect some chimes, place some vision. Instead, he was waiting to come through with Mortar, and they come up with another kill.
Great trade as well. Usually you see Galio have a pretty easy time against Magical Burst. He doesn't have the levels in his shield to kind of keep himself safe, but it doesn't matter. In the bottom lane, more aggression yet again. What is this Miss Fortune going for? Maybe farm, possibly going for a 1v2. Does not have the resources, and that will give over a 3rd kill to the Boise State bottom lane.
Impressive work there by the bottom lane, and it looks like they're going in again.
So it's just a bait there. Kiana actually makes her way to the bottom lane and picks up one themselves. Ezreal will fall, but Bard will get away through to the magical journey. A trade elimination and kill there in the bottom lane. But as we saw just down the mid lane, does not matter. Galio's not taking enough to sustain against the LeBlanc. A 2v2 opportunity here in the bottom. No one's going to go for anything just yet. Nice dash forward. Here comes the invisibility. Able to get the grass. Sonic Wave, Tempest Cripple, all these fantastic tools to reveal Kiana in her safety nets could be huge and a real determining factor in a 1v1 or 2v2. But the dust will settle, and Boise State is now emerging with a, oh my goodness, almost a 2K gold lead. And that's not even 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the early first blood definitely paying dividends as a part of that gold lead. But I mean, 4 kills already on the board will do that too. But you have topside the advantage, definitely going for Elo Dad. You have the junglers probably are sitting at about even right now considering the CS and how many camps they've each cleared. But mid lane is probably the other big discrepancy right now. Almost a 20 CS lead there for Taberk, as well as having that kill over Galio.
Yeah, and it's, I think, Ascent's done, sorry, Taberk, my apologies. Taberk's done a fantastic job calling out this Galio build. Maybe idealizing that he was going to go for damage, and he does. And with that sword pen boot coming out, that's just going to be a true damage from out. Here comes the TP. It's going to be from the mid laner. Galio's going to be here to assist. Dan United will be given out. Here comes the taunt wall as well. Does not really block much in terms of auto attacks. And on the back side, this whole time, it's just been a full wool over the eyes of Northeastern. The flash taunt comes out. Here comes the magical journey with the auto attack. And my goodness, Lightpulse, you should not be allowed. And this is why we see the Bard banned. 2-0-2. This Bard is actually the carry. Here comes another flash taunt. Justice punch forward. Here comes the retaliation. Iron Will safeguard's going to be here. Here comes the flash, but it's a little too late. A little too early, and here comes another source of damage, and Mortar will pick up a double kill as well. It's an absolute bloodbath, and another TP in the bottom lane. Hextech ultimatum will be dropped down. It's a 3v1. Camille, you are crazy. Actually gets the one, but here comes the rest of the damage from Kiana. So much damage being given over. The health bars are just dwindling, but Boise State remains strong, and they will turn away the force of Northeastern.
Well, I can't say we're done yet because Sona still has flash. So maybe we could see something crazy.
Don't do this to me. I need at least a little breath.
But I do think that probably will be the end of that one. I mean, and that was Northeastern, committing 4 members to the bot side there, as after Goblin went aggressive there with his E initially. But man, that was crazy. There's so many fights going on there. initially, Elodad comes down first. He tries to help save Goblin, which didn't end up happening, but he's able to help force some trades back. They kill off the bottom lane, and a super, super late TP by Coach Tomio. And eventually, Camille and the Kiana are able to join up together, but it was far too late.
Oh my goodness, here's Live Pulse, misses the Q, does not matter, the slow's still there. We'll get away with the magical journey, but the vision is theirs, and they can threaten this 3v1 dive anytime they want. Instead, I think they're going to maybe try and pick up any resources in this topside jungle. And Boise State, you know, we've often praised them in the past for being aggressive, but this is something else. This is almost lunacy.
You know, I think it's definitely a clear recognition of their window to strike, and being able to understand when they need to be going for advantages, when they need to not, and how they want to play this out. I think they've had a clear plan. They wanted to go aggressive on bot lane, to take advantage, take control in the bot lane, and they've reacted well to situations Northeastern's tried to present them with, and that's put them in a spot now where they're sitting 3.5K up here at 8 minutes.
I was about to say, we can see by this gold being shown here that there are almost 3 separate 1K gold leads in their respective lanes, top, mid, and support. And I mean, that's going to be the lion's share of the gold there on those 3 opportunistic characters. And with the way that Lightpost is looking to be that kind of global force, I think that's a great call to have the Bard here with this gold lead.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's gonna, be good to have Bard here for just a few minutes at least. You don't want Misfortune coming too far back into the game, since obviously Goblin is going to have to play it safe when he is letting Bard roam.
Sonic Wave, no resonating strike there. But even, Taberg roaming top lane to try and get some extra gold there on the top lane, keeping Camille nice and neutralized is a great call, right? Because a Camille out of control is a very difficult and scary thing to try and deal with.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to be able to, help Elodad make sure he can keep her down, because a Shen, once he's ahead, he's very tough to kind of be able to kill. He just gets so tanky so fast, and he's already got the Tab Eyes completed. He's definitely working towards that Sunfire Cape as well, already holding the Bomby Cinder, and he's going to be pretty much on borderline unkillable for a good chunk of the game here in maybe just a few minutes.
I really like the plated steel caps. I think that's a nice change. We see, nice gank in the mid lane, gonna be pushed into the wall, but it's all for retreat purposes. Light Pulse does miss the tower. The dive won't be completely theirs to take, but yeah, you don't lose a rush here on this Kiana. And we often see this item built in rapid fashion just because of how gold effective it is. And it's relatively cheap as well. This bottom lane, though, it's going to be a 1 versus 1. The exhaust will come out, but it's not going to do much. Lee Sin will retaliate only for a moment and then retreat, maybe into the welcoming arms of some other unfortunate member of Northeastern. Instead, they're looking to clear out the Vision. Scuttle Crab is alive, and perfect timing to secure it, so it gets there and gives Vision a little bit right before Dragon spawns.
And that was a good group up as well, because they dropped the Rift Herald and they got that mid tower completely low. So that tier 2 is going to be going down here in a few minutes. They ended up collecting about 2 plates off of it, and it's going to be going down now. So that's first tower as well, going to Taberg. So that is so much gold in his inventory. He's going to be so strong here for the next few minutes as well. I mean, this is probably the strongest point I think we're going to see for a little while from Boise State. They're going to be at their peak advantages, so they've got to start forcing and cleaning up some of these outer towers.
Crazy first tower going to the LeBlanc out of all the champions here, with the rest of the draft the way it is. But that's the way a cookie crumbles. You manage your macro perfectly, and that's what ends up happening. And it looks like the Cloud Drake will bless the Rift with Squalls of Plenty. And again, we really like this Drake because of the ultimates and the sheer amount of lunacy we've seen so far. If either of these teams get some of these Drakes on board, that just means more fighting, and I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. They're going to have to get to a point here where Northeastern is definitely going to have to start looking at committing to some of these dragons in these team fights, because they are not going to be able to scale up and win this game. That was slick.
That's a comfortable matchup, but it's only a matter of time. Here comes the combo we've been talking about all day so far. The taunt is here. Stanton United cannot even be used, and Shen, despite the tricky plays immediately, the combo from Northeastern shows signs of life.
Well, Tomio said you want to dodge the hook shot. That's fine. I'll give you something that's undodgeable.
Right.
But You know, they send 4 people to the top side. So what is Boise State doing? They're putting in jungle. They're taking control of that bottom side jungle. They're starting to collapse around that bottom tier 2. They're going to start taking that one and start knocking off some of the plates on that one as well. And they're starting to pressure mid-tier 1 as well.
I like this. Trying to get as much as they can. We even see Woonks going into the enemy jungle, taking Lee Sin's wolves. Probably just leaving the small wolf as the as an invading jungler. You know, you always love to say, "Ha-ha, I've won up to you." It's kind of the biggest chess move, right? That you can do as a jungler is you just leave the tiniest, frail, tiny wolf.
Yeah, because then you're preventing the camp from respawning. XP's not going to get greater, and it's it will take a little bit longer for that to be the case. And so obviously it's a big deal because you're thinking, oh, it's still up, I'll go get it, and then you're disappointed. It's like, oh, there's only one little wolf here.
Comes the bullet time. Will be dodged away. Safeguard in tow. Vision's being highly contested for this Gromp alone.
Got to secure
this Gromp. But here comes the collapse. Boise State caught with their pants on the ground. And it looks like the damage and the CC combo from Northeastern. I blinked, and there goes 2 members of Boise State.
I think they got a little bit too aggressive there without having full vision of Northeastern. They again have collapsed 5 members towards a certain side of the map. This time it happens to be their own blue side jungle. And, you have to think, that's a little bit too aggressive there from Light Pulse and Mortar. So, but they're going to be getting some plates back on the top side as well for just a moment anyway.
Elo Dad maybe needs to be a little bit afraid of what happened last time this 1v1 went awry. Turned quickly into a 2v1, a 3v1, a 4v1, but Elo Dad looking for the fight. Here's the backup. This time it's going to be on the Boise State side as Taberk flies in from the side and completely decimates the health bar from Coach.
We haven't actually seen too much of Taberk.
Oh, here comes the engage. Lethality in pursuit, the flash, and the longest auto interaction will be much to the chagrin of Elo Dad. And then the bottom lane, despite having full control of the lane earlier, they're forcing Goblin off the tower. They may be able to secure this in the top lane, though. This could be why Light Pulse making a play. The flash Q and the ult as well. The insect will be performed and executed perfectly, but you lose a tower for it. Style points can only get you so far in League of Legends.
That is true, but that top tower is definitely very low, and if Elo Dad's able to stick onto it for a few more minutes, he should be able to knock that one down, especially if Tomio tries to commit elsewhere on the map, where the Shen obviously still having the teleport up, having the Stand United up as well, will allow him to kind of be a bit more committed to that side lane. Tomio does not have teleport as it's sitting at about 30% on its cooldown right now. So
I think that's the call, right? Boise State knows that they have Stand United and teleport, so keeping Camille in this top lane is their best bet. They can get freer dragons with that being the case, and I don't think that this TP from Coach Tomio will be up when this dragon spawns.
And I really like what they're doing right now. They're already taking that second Rift Herald as well, so that's going to be more free gold for them if they're able to get it, secured fully. And it looks like they were.
Oh, but a cheeky play nonetheless. They're going to go and die for the tower, but the stun's there. No kick to back it up. There will be a fight here. Our 2v1, and Coach Tomio is not long for this world. They actually go for the Shelly enhanced recall show-off move. A little bit of BM there, but Boise State, 3 members top lane. They want to drop this Shelly and maybe push its advantage. And then the next objective is assuredly this 3rd grade.
I would have to think that that is going to be the case. I almost
don't even use Shelly here, right?
I wouldn't use it now. I mean, it's going to just chip some of the HP off of it. I think you've got to guide it in or use it at a later date. But I would have maybe considered using the Bard ultimate on the tower. They're trying to save it since that's what Tomio wanted.
Right.
But if they have it for the fight and they get an ace with it, I suppose, who am I to question what Light Pulse is?
It's tough, right? Because if the Bard ult is on the tower, Coach can see, hey, I'm just going to walk into this and also be protected. End up getting it after resets. But here's a 2v3 at the top lane. Here comes the Hextech Ultimatum. And the Galio combo as well. Knocks up 2. The taunt will be there, but the taunt of Boise State's own. And the kick to follow. Dragon's Rage will send a Sky. Everyone that was trying to take Boise State away. That was a fantastic reaction, and we talked about this as well. Boise State drafting to such a counter-reactive style. That full combo was just missing the MF ult. If that was there, maybe the health bars would have been shredded. But Boise State said, stick to our guns, stick together. We have the counter combo.
Yeah, definitely. And you saw there in a blink of an eye. I mean, they were acting as a 3-man squad. You had Mortar, you had Goblin, and you had Light Pulse hanging around there in that top side squad when they were engaged on. The Shen ultimate came down, and then you also had Taberk coming across the map from mid lane all the way over to that fight, making an impact as well. And that's something that Taberk, you know, he's had the gold lead that he got secured early on in the game, but he, I think, is still kind of been stuck pushing mid lane, but not really being able to act upon his gold lead and what he's been able to do since then. And I think that big team fight there for Boise State's definitely going to be good for them, as they're going to be able to take more control. They could potentially push for even an inhibitor perhaps with that Rift Herald being alive, and that could allow them to take full control, as that's going to be on the weak side of the Dragon. They'll be able to go back, reset, maybe look for another Dragon, and obviously get the 4v5 since that Camille teleport is still down.
Yeah, still down. Looking for the Drake would be the next target. And then for those that are just joining us or just managed to alt-tab back into the stream to see what was going, you didn't hear the league music in the background. We are at a technical pause trying to figure out what's going on with the players, get that all sorted out, as Game 1 still remains to be decided. But Boise State, in a pretty commanding fashion, has taken an aggressive front, and there have been signs of life from this Northeastern team. That, unfortunately, was not one of the better moments for them.
Yeah, it wasn't, but I think that I respect the idea. You know, they knew they needed to try something. That was going to be their best opportunity when they had a few seconds of a 3-man, and if they were able to execute that one perfectly, they were able to potentially get that. And they had Light Pulse trapped. It just wasn't the ideal target. It wasn't Goblin or it wasn't Mortar, so they're obviously going to have to keep trying their best. But I think that they definitely had the right idea. Just Boise State's reaction to the play was much better, as they brought more numbers to the play as well.
Oh, the replay bug. Oh no. There are things that they're hitting. We just can't see them currently. And there are minions perpetually stuck in existence, which evidently don't exist. Sona is currently alive, but she's marked as dead with a 0 death timer. You know, it's an indie, it's a small indie company, Riot. They're still trying to fix this game. It's only been out for 11 years?
I think it's 12?
Yeah, somewhere around there. They'll figure it out eventually, but Boise State looking to figure out how to close this game out. Looks like they're just waiting for those big objectives to come alive, and Northeastern looks to maybe try and make some plays on this other side. We see Kiana roaming down, and Galio in the wings. Now, Galio will fall on the sword to keep this player in place, but it's not going to be enough. Here comes the slap, and the dash, the slide, and there goes Goblin. He did fall there. He's not currently alive. He's dead. He has a death timer.
It's a physical ward. It's a physical ward.
He's just like the new ward.
Yeah.
The new ward, Ezreal ward. Oh, retaliation. Here comes the ethereal chains. Mark down. Q, Origin Malice coming through as well. So much damage from this combo, and this Galio's not long for the world, as a retaliatory strike will be given over by Boise State. And it looks like we figured it out. We fixed it. Now Goblin's alive again. He's moving through the map. Sona's no longer dead. Minions are currently fighting, exchanging blows, and not permanently existing. And we see Northeastern still looking for these kind of side lane traps.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to force Boise State into a precarious position in the side lane there. And I think Goblin got a little bit too aggressive without having the proper vision or security around him. And as you saw, he immediately looked for the arcane shift.
Fang.
Very interesting.
The entire last week I was praising that item for multiple reasons, and this is a great case for either side to have a Serpent's Fang on their team, right? You have so much of the shielding being given over naturally to Camille, to Galio, and Sona, giving up those shields like candy. And on the other side of things, whoever gets Stand United is a prime target for that Serpent's Fang. Great case and a great item. Fight me. Fight me, Switch Chat. You can't. I'm too powerful. My beard is too large. Boise State looking for some scouting. Going to continue to own this part of the jungle on the map with vision and totality. 20 minutes gone by, and 7K gold lead is nearly approaching the Boise State pockets as they continue to push these waves onto Northeastern. Nice engage, hook shot will miss. comes the Q. Ethereal Chains will lock things down. Kiana looking for the engage. Gets the knock into the wall. Here comes the Stand United. Going to be able to save things. Hextech Ultimatum will be turned away. And here comes the Tempered Fate. Locked up with the ultimate. No, the timing was not there, but it gets the flashes anyway. Zone ult will miss. The big whiffs are here. Boise State looking to fight, but they're getting turned away. Light Pulse will be the sacrifice, and a double kill coming out for Wounds. The fight on the backside. The Zonians will buy as much time as possible. Resonate Strike. Here comes the kick. No, it will be for Knots. He'll dive into 2. He'll pick up maybe 1. Doesn't have the energy. He'll find it. The mortar is insane.
Are you kidding me?
He gets away with murder. Well, we'll have to see if he gets away with murder. Hookshot coming through. Here comes the perfect chain. It's a 1v3. Can he pick up another one? Gore Drinker's going to be huge, but it's not enough. And Boise State, 4 go down. They take 2 with them. But look at top lane.
Yeah, this whole time, the Shen, Elo Dad's been just pushing that top side this whole time. He took the inhibitor tower and walked it all the way up to the inhibitor.
One of those, meanwhile, top lane moments.
Well, did you actually know League of Legends is a PvE experience?
That's true. Towers don't type in all chat, which means they're the best enemy. But with that being said, Northeastern picks up a second Cloud Drake, and we've seen to how such great effect they're using these ultimates. If they get these further cooldown reductions on them, it could be a completely different game.
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, that's not an insignificant amount of both movement speed, obviously, those cooldown reductions. I mean, that is going to be huge, and it could mean the difference in a few minutes with a speed boost from Sona, potentially for someone like the Misfortune, where she might be able to walk out of trouble. She might be able to walk away from the Bard ult. I mean, there's a lot here now that's starting to eventually add up, especially if they're able to get a 3rd Cloud Dragon.
And here's the biggest highlight of that. Northeastern shrunk to 7K to 5K. Here comes the Bard interaction. Magical Journey won't help you. The Gallia ult's just there for flavor. And again, this aggression is afforded because of the fact that they have these ultimates on lower cooldown. Looking for an engage. Here comes the chain. Going over Distortion. Over the wall will be found out. Here comes Coach Tomio. And the damage. Here comes the Shen shield. So much damage. Can they get themselves in position? It does not look like there's going to be an opportunity. Server gets completely deleted. And here comes the Kiana ult as well. Flash away Elo Dad's will, and the 4 members out of nowhere from Northeastern are here to join the fray. Unfortunately for Tibert, the damage was just too high, and he could not in time reverse anyone on the other side.
Yeah, it definitely was the case there, and the Baron being started up here. They're going to have to get close here, but I don't know if they can.
Yeah, there's not a lot of opportunity. Looks like Shen's going to reset, has TP on board. Will we go for the TP? Here comes the Tempered Fate. Looks like it's going to be a contest. Lee Sin going for this. Mortar has done crazier things before. Can he secure this? They have access to the Misfortune. The ultimate's been stopped. Bullet time, it is not. And Boise State collapses. Who got the Baron? I can't tell. It looks like the red team will take it away. Unfortunately, Boise State cannot clutch it, but they will take every life on the side of Northeastern for payment. So there goes the Baron.
What a fight there from Boise State. They may not have gotten the Baron, but they will make sure that it's definitely not going to be used by Northeastern. They'll be able to probably secure this inhibitor, I would think. Goblin's going to pick up a triple kill here as well. That's going to allow Goblin to fund some more purchases, sitting on 2,000 in the bank, same as Mortar as well. I mean, that's so much gold now that they have to go back and spend, but that was such a huge fight for them. They picked up so many kills, and this should allow them to take a firm grasp of the game and not really let it go.
Yeah, I mean, with the tandem of Lee Sin being hyper annoying, he can dart in, he can dart out, he always threatens that 50-50, and the fact that Mortar's got the Gore Drinker, was able to stay alive and stay such a nuisance in that pit. And in addition to that, the Tempered Fate buying so much time, the poke damage comes out from Goblin. It was just an all-around perfect display of why you don't want to be caught in that pit against the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it got to a position there where, like you mentioned, they were just trapped in the Baron pit, and they were able to just be free-fired upon while they had to, attack through the Baron. As soon as
Berg's getting collapsed on in the bottom lane. Distortion 1 will be used. The ultimate's still available. Looks for another Distortion. Has the blue buff. Dodging away. Will dodge into the Galio. And the welcoming arms of the taunt will be there. Boise State loses one in the bottom lane. Looks for a turn in the top lane. I think Elodad can be confident in fighting this. He knows 4 members are bottom. You Hextech ultimatum the tank. He will send you to the ground. And Elodad will take it away and an equal kill across the map. Here comes the kick, the Q to land. Following suit, the Galio ult will follow as well, knocking up. And the Misfortune ult will tear apart light poles. Unfortunately for the both sides, they both have prime members alive. Galvin ults in the wrong direction. Border's still alive though, and Elodad's there to help. Stand United will get him in tow. The Q misses. It's going to be a 2 versus 3. Running out of mana is the Sona. The rest of the members from Northeastern collaborate while Boise State splits. And again, this is just the first game. This is wild how much they're fighting.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Boise State has just been prepared to kind of take these skirmishes. I think Taberk was definitely trying to set up a bot lane push when he was collapsed on, and Mortar and Goblin and Light Pulse definitely were looking to fight, but they can't overcome 4 members of Northeastern there. And great 1v1 on the top side by Elodad, recognizing with the Titanic Hydra done, with the Sunfire Cape done, with those steel-plated caps as well, along with the makings of the Thornmail with the Giant's Belt. They're definitely going to be, he was definitely able to take that 1v1 against Tomio. And that Camille now is not going to be able to handle that Shen for a while.
Camille is essentially just an ulti delivery system for the Galio now. You can't 1v1 the Shen. I don't think anyone can, to be honest. With the tandem, so much damage opportunity from the Sunfire full cape, that Titanic Hydra, and that Bramble that's coming out, it's so much. Here comes the kick. Coach Tomio almost losing half their health, but the dragon will spawn shortly enough. Gonna put either of these 2 teams on soul point. I wonder if Boise State either considers going for this or completely abandoning and getting those crucial and open inhibs mid-top. Like the poke will be their goal. They do have Ezreal LeBlanc can continue to poke, but the health bar from the dragon is grounded quickly. Here comes the Tempered Fate. He's in position for the kick. Here comes the ultimate from Ezreal, but the backline access will be there. Redemption will top things out. No! Light Pulse gets popped like a Richmond party cracker, and the backside of the fight will go the way of Northeastern, and Boise State sent scurrying. They do not get anything for this as the Bulltine comes out. A double, triple kill coming out for an Oink, and my goodness, they got the dragon too. It's catastrophic for the Boise State squad.
That is very catastrophic there. I mean, the fight, got split into 2 portions, and it ended up going both towards Northeastern there, as they just were able to layer their combos down more effectively than Boise State was able to there. And it almost seemed like DeBerk really couldn't quite get to Oink, even though Oink was pretty much by himself there towards the end of that sequence. But you know, it really was just a bit of a disjointed effort where Northeastern moved in conjunction together, and they were able to wipe the Broncos.
Yeah, and this build, we haven't seen much action come from Misfortune before that fight. In fact, 3-5-5 before that triple kill was cashed in. But now that things have settled, that is a scary build for any ADC. You have the Kraken Infinity Edge into Lord Doms. That is a lot of damage.
Something interesting here, you know, there's not really a ton of damage out there on this Ezreal right now, especially with the Frozen Heart being built 3rd.
Right.
You know,
that's interesting. I mean, I wonder if they're just trying to force themselves not to be the target. You know, you're disincentivized as Camille to dive into an Ezreal that has the Gore Drinker, the Conqueror fully stacked with the Frozen Heart, but at the same time, the damage between the 2 ADCs is night and day.
Yeah, and I don't think they're ever, I don't think the Ezreal needs to be doing, you know, the amount of damage that Oink is doing in this game, but I just think that they're
1v1, no one in the wings, but Elodad does not know that. The aggression from this Camille is completely betraying his senses. Here comes the Galio ult for retaliation. It's a 1v2, and the magic damage is just too much. The stagger and the CC will take apart Elodad's health. But the dive on the backline, the Mortar looking for an opportunity, gets a 1-for-1 trade. He takes out the ADC, but at what cost? His own life will be forfeit there. Temper Fate, here comes the Q from Bard as well, stopping any sort of advancement from Northeastern, but they are hungry for blood. They will be completely torn apart as Taberk will find the angle, and Misfortune is not going to be long for the world if Taberk has anything to say about it.
Nice job there from Taberk, and I don't think we're done.
The second Q land. Here comes the rest of the combo. I called it. Caster Curse enabled. There goes Misfortune. Galio to follow suit. You cannot escape this squad. Boise State completely stuffing any sort of retreat attempt away. Distortion for the extra kill, but in the bottom lane, meanwhile, bottom, ... You just trade this, right?
I think you do. And
I think you push mid and top.
yeah, I think you take this trade.
Oh
I actually think that
taunt. Coach does not look long for the world.
Yeah, the Baron's
going
going
there.
down.
Instead of the inhibitor, Boise State will try to cash in on the big purple worm in the map. Looks like a Baron will go by their way. Only Sona there to defend. Hiccup cannot miss this. She is up against the world right now. If she can steal this, she will assuredly take victory into the hands of Northeastern. If they can secure it, 1,000 health. Looks to be engaged on. Here comes the damage, but will be flashed away, and Burke will find her and take her down. Boise State will cash in on a 5-man Baron right now as well.
well, it's going to end up being 4 as Light Pulse did end up getting knocked down by the rest of the right.
Just kidding. Hashtag word.
Right, due to the Baron damage and from Hiccup applying a bit of damage as well. But, you know, it's going to still be a Baron play here for Boise State. They're still going to have this opportunity to run the map with this Baron, and I'd imagine they're using it to take down those final towers on the bot side and look to close in on those inhibitors that they've already worked so hard to expose here. But they need to focus on slowing the game down, I think. I think they need to slow it down. They need to limit the amount of fights that we're seeing right now because they're definitely struggling with the pace of the game. And I think if they're able to kind of talk out what they want to do, slow it down to the point where they're able to move in conjunction with each other, I think it could go a lot better.
Becomes a fact that they're Northeastern's 5v5, they're just that much better. Knocking Shen into the wall. Elo Dad will get the attention from 3 members from Northeastern, but Boise State's marching down the mid lane. Misfortune running away, Oink trying to get themselves to safety. Ezreal will do as much damage to this inhibitor as possible. We did mention this low damage build. Is the time nigh? Can they get this in time? It looks like Mortar's trying to get the information for any sort of rotations and possible flanks. And nothing will be gained from either team despite the kills continuing to increase. Dragon pressure, this is sole point. Boise State has the Baron online. For this team, I think that's one of the worst Dragons to just give up, but that is the Boise State call. They did not have the man, resources, or power to try and contest that. Baron Enhanced recalls are still in their favor. They're going to take this one inhibitor and retreat with it. And that's all they will get for trading over the Drake's Soul.
I think that's probably the best they're going to get, but I don't know if they're out of the woods yet.
If they're alive, Hexagon Ultimatum, here comes the full combo, but the kick out of the Hexagon will save Mortar in tow. Light Pulse will be the sacrificial lamb. Here comes the Stand United. Elo Dad will also follow suit, but where's the damage? Boise State trying to pick things away. A flash over the wall will be given as Elo Dad tries to find access to the back line. Here comes access to the front line as Burke's looking to keep things in tow. Boise State's going to keep them pigeonholed, and we see Mortar looking down the mid lane. This is the craziest game one I have probably ever seen.
And he's still going for it here.
Still going. Burke barely missing the Q, and the E does not find the stop, but they're looking for opportunities here on the other side. One member from Northeastern will stand as a bastion to hold off Mortar, and the game continues to go on. I'm going to lose my voice. It's going to be gone.
This has been quite
a spicy game.
This has been a great game 1 opener, and it looks like we're not done.
Mortar's going to look for an opportunity, gets rooted up only for a few moments, will be knocked into the wall. But the rest of the team's here. The War Drum's not going to be there. He doesn't have the Dragon Rage this time. And there goes the Guardian Angel. Usually when that happens, you're also to follow suit, and he is unfortunately that way. What can Northeastern gather? Again, another pick. Here comes the full combo! As the Burke will whip again, is on a rampage. Will reset into the Bush Distortion and will be knocked away. The hook shot will be huge. They went for the clone! But it wasn't enough of a distraction. Burke will also fall there. But a nice vengeance kill. I think that's the most respectful thing ever is, hey, Mortar, you got killed, man, but I got you. Watch this. Bye, Sona. Delete.
Yeah, I mean, just use the delete key there on the keyboard.
Burke had Zonas, I think.
I think it was on CD. I swear, I think he used it.
I want Burke's the player that would use it if they had it, but I think they had it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I think that definitely is starting, Northeastern definitely doing a good job moving in groups here, and I think Boise State's going to have to start either deciding what they want to do. Do they want to just hang back because they have to start doing a better job of denying some of these engages, or they have to combine as a group? And they've got to decide how they want to look to close this game out. They've got the gold lead. They've got most gold leads in most of their roles right now. They're just struggling in the team fight execution. They've got to be able they've got to decide how they want to close this out and look to close it out.
Do they just wait for Elder, though?
They could. That's risky, though.
That's risky. You're right. But this is a team that we've seen take many risks before, and I doubt we'll ever see them stop. So it's something that can happen. Boise State maybe waiting for that crucial do-or-die Elder Drake fight, but we'll have to see. And I like this build from Light Pulse. I just wish, as you had mentioned, that they were taking the pacing of the game slowly. They're the ones getting picked out.
Holy cow! My goodness.
I could have sworn there was a Kiana there, but I'm evidently wrong.
Yeah,
and in this entire fallacy, Northeastern thought they were getting the pick, but they were getting picked. Here comes the bullet time, used somewhat wisely to take out the minions. But this just leaves more opportunity for Boise State to not be retaliated against. They have on the clock a big window of 27 seconds. They got to take this top inhibitor with it.
Yeah, I think it's got to be the move. It's got to be the call here. And they still have a lot of their engage tools as well, so they could be able to look for another one if they are, pushed enough by Northeastern. I do think they're strong enough still that they win that 4v5. But they've got the 2 inhibitors down momentarily. They need to retreat. I think they need to set up a control around the Baron Pit, and they need to look to be taking that on spawn.
And great call here. Northeastern knows that there's minions pushing plenty in the bottom lane. Sidewave management for Boise State is left lacking, but I think that they made the right call trying to take the inhibitor out top lane. That'll equate with the side pressure. Mid lane inhibitor still down. Everyone will get out by the skin of their teeth. But this does leave the Baron to be started here for Northeastern, and Boise State's nowhere in position to contest it.
Yeah, and I don't think they realize it's happening. I think now Taberk is heading over.
It's the Taberk show. What channel is it on? Unfortunately, not the right one. The flash away. But here comes the W with the Zonians. They have another distortion, but the auto attack will still come through. Gosh, I love that bug. The longest auto attacks ever. And Northeastern is looking for blood. They want to march down the mid lane. It's one of the only lanes with resistance for them right now, and Boise State cannot afford to put anyone anywhere else.
Yeah, they've got to be able to commit to this 5-man defense here, and they still have members away from their tower here as that wave is about to crash. And they're going to have to figure out how to hold without Taberk. He's been one of their highest damage members so far this game, and he's still down for another 30 seconds, so they're going to have to be able to hold here.
They're going to have to forfeit an inhibitor, equate the pressure. Oh no, the enemy inhibitor just respawned, so the super minions will be huge here. Does Northeastern look to end? It looks like that's the opportunity. The ultimate the wall. Here comes the blood time. The rest of the fight runs too, but the Sonic will get the perfect stun, and Mortar will completely be eliminated. Here comes the Bard ultimate, maybe a little bit too late for the rest of the house guard from the Boise State Broncos will be ripped. Here comes the Galio combo, and the inhibitor and Nexus will fall. Northeastern will take game 1.
Well, Northeastern were able to withstand an onslaught, really, to start that game. I mean, Boise State came out blitzing and firing on all cylinders. They were willing to throw punch after punch after punch after punch, but they ended up fumbling in the mid game a little bit. They couldn't quite ever establish
puns. I totally get those.
And couldn't quite establish themselves back again in the same way in the mid to late game.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure out how to close the game.
Just to mention, of course, Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State Esports. Top plays are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to Twitch at iGuard Gaming. And Idaho Army National Guard, one of the best teams out there. Northeastern looking pretty strong too. That was a spicy one. That was more than I anticipated for game 1. But we'll take a little bit of break. I definitely need some water. I've been sweating up a storm up here. That is going to do it for game 1. We'll take a quick short break to get that hydration on lockdown and come back for game 2.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Boise State kicking off their League of Legends season in the UAL against Northeastern. Game one not really going much their way. They were in the driver's seat for a fair portion of that, but Northeastern continued to stick to their guns and execute their comp to such an nth degree. Again, your host, me, Jared Baratoka-Siglioni, joined by Alton Siphon-Dill. What a fantastic game one that was.
Yeah, that was a great game one. I mean, like you mentioned, it was a very spicy one to open up to, and hopefully we can continue to get that kind of game as we move forward here in this series. And hopefully Boise State will rebound here with a strong game number 2.
Yeah, it's all about that adaptability. The best part about these best of threes is the fact that it offers you the chance to say, well, this is what you did last game. Here's what we'll do to answer that. And I do believe that there are some changes coming up here. Boise State, I think, on the other side of the map. So we'll see if that does emerge with a different set of comp for that. But just as a reminder of the rules tonight, there are, of course, several coming up here in a moment as we do get those ready for you. It's going to be a spicy one as things continue. If that's just game one and my heart rate is where it's at right now, I feel like I would be able to check off like a 5K run after tonight's games.
Well, you might be able to. I think you probably were yelling there for like 3 straight minutes.
I never yell. Nope, never happened.
Oh, okay.
No, I did. That was awesome. It's good. It practices myself, and there are those rules I just mentioned. Best of 3. We still maybe have 2 more games to go tonight. 5v5 on the Summoner's Rift. No Vex this week. Maybe next week we'll see her sad little head. BSU is going to be on the blue side for game 1, but because they lost, I think they've chosen to switch sides here for tonight. So game 2 is going to be maybe something completely different that we've seen from the Broncos before.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It obviously opens up a few different options in draft, for example. I think that there definitely will be some changes. I can't imagine that they're going to be wanting to run this back completely. I can see some pieces of it that they'd want to run back, but I can't imagine that they're going to want to run back the whole thing again.
I don't think so. There were very highlightable moments. I think it just ended up coming down to some execution errors on both sides, though, right?
Most of the time, the Broncos were in a great place because of how well they executed their champions in tandem. Those kind of retaliation ultimates being used to turn away the combo, the counter combo, if you will, from the side of Northeastern as we get into the draft. Thresh will continue to be the first ban on the side from Northeastern, but Boise State does have a chance to answer here on the red side.
Yeah, and I think some things that we could look to see them kind of change up. I would imagine that we might be seeing a bit more of a high damage AD carry that's not Ezreal. I think that we could see definitely. I think the Misfortune was, that's another pick that Goblin's very comfortable with, but he plays a lot. He's very flexible in what he can play, and I think they need to put him, I think he probably will look towards something that's a bit more high damage. I think that they need to probably look at putting Elodad on a carry. I think that seems to, that'll just open up more possibilities for them, to gives them another avenue to look to play through, and I think it allows them just more flexibility in how they want to approach the game, because I think they struggled with how best to close out the game, and that is kind of where they ran into some issues.
It looks like Leeson, Set, and Nami being the first 3 champions to see the Rift this game. Kiana not going to be able to see there. A lot of opportunity for Northeastern to really engage the fight from many different angles, and I think Kiana really helped with that. That ultimate is just way strong, so it's tough to say whether or not you leave it in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the bot lane that Northeastern's picked up here. That's very strong combo. Obviously, it does have its flaws with the short range of Lucian and the immobility of Nami, but I think the same thing applies. Wow.
A rel pick. That is I mean, it may seem like this is we're somewhere where the chilies are like in 3 or 4 or 5. We're not in too chilly territory. This is a spicy series, and rel a spicy pick.
Yeah, definitely, and very curious there. I don't know if that was just because it just was revealed or not, but I'm a little confused now why Nautilus was just revealed as a ban, although I think
it's the order in which things happen, because it's 3 bans before picks come through.
Yes.
So we're just doing a little bit of a tricked you order. But we see the possibly strongest bottom lane duo in recent patches. Lucian being buffed to a insane degree. Nami also being kind of power creeped to a certain power state. In tandem, though, they become a force in which you can 2v5 without any items.
Yeah, I think that's the case. But I think when you're considering that this is going to be a composition that's going to be built around, I think, going after the spot lane a little bit more. I think the change to Misfortune definitely will suit them. It brings them more team fight power, which is somewhere that they struggled. And some of these bans definitely are getting real interesting here on what's going to be available to be picked.
I like the Gangplank ban, Fiora as well. It's taking shots away from Elodad, but it doesn't matter who you play as a top laner. You're going to be comfortable on most of anything. But Poppy and Echo, we had seen an Echo give Boise State quite the struggle last week. We'll have to see if they're going to continue to be a force to be reckoned with. But Poppy, champion we very rarely ever see. But I think that's going to be the jungler.
I mean, you might be right. I was under the impression it could be a set jungle here as well.
Also possible, yeah.
Obviously, with the nature of those flex picks, it's kind of a little bit tough to tell until
Rob's going to carry this. I'm calling it. On Misfortune, very well possible. As you had mentioned already, Siphon, Goblin, or Rob, very comfortable on champions such as Misfortune. So with this kind of setup, they have the Hextech Ultimatum this time. They also have the Magnet Storm to keep everyone in that ultimatum while the bullets come and rip through their bodies and stuff like that. So we'll have to see whether or not that will be the case. But I think that the kind of mix-ups, Northeastern's got a style of their own. And I think Poppy Jungle is super strong.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is, but I think that they definitely have picked a bit of a different style. I think they're definitely looking more towards the bottom side and a bottom-focused composition here, and that's going to be very different from how they played out game number 1, where they had clear priority looking towards that top side of the map. and we'll see how Boise State's going to do with a bit of a change in composition as well. I think the Camille was something that I would have definitely picked in that situation. I think you put yourself in a good position with a strong top laner who can carry the game. I think the Camille is a good pick, and I thought the Corki definitely was interesting as well.
And just for those joining us now, here is the lineup for Boise State. Elodad, Mortar, I do believe a Sense being swapped in, Goblin, and Light Pulse to round out the bottom lane. Who do you think's got the best draft out of these two?
I think I'm going to go with Boise State only because I think they've given themselves less limitation in how they need to play the game out. I think I'm a big proponent of having as many carries as possible because it allows you to adapt and overcome as you get into the game. If your AD carry falls behind, you've got the top side of the map with carries, so then as a result, you've got the option to carry through top side. If your top laner falls behind, well, you've got the mid or the jungle to help kind of pick up the slack, and I think that's a big deal for a lot of these teams is to have the option to carry, whereas I don't think unless they are an exceptional tank player or a exceptional, supportive kind of player, I don't think that is necessarily going to be the best option.
Do you think this Camille goes the patented TP Ignite? No flash?
I think so. I was when I was looking at the when I was looking at the OPGGs earlier, it definitely seemed like this is a very aggressive all or nothing kind of style that is played by Elodad when he's played it in solo queue.
Yeah, and much to the chagrin of many other top laners, taking Ignite in top lane is kind of like a, come on, dude, move. But, yeah, you take what you can, especially against Set. You don't pull punches against that champion because they'll make you pay for it. That champion is crazy strong.
Yeah, I mean, his punches hit harder. They just are different. But, I think that with this composition in mind for Boise State, I think that they've given themselves the opportunity to play through all three lanes. And I think something that's going to be big here and really testing the knowledge and the remembrance of Northeastern is going to be the Corki package. We know how impactful it can be. We've seen it many a time impact a team fight or a game positively for his team. And I think making sure they're tracking the Corki and making sure that he's not really able to make an impact with that because that can break up a fight, cause so much damage, and just so much havoc, and that is going to be a big factor in these team fights.
Yeah, and if Game 1 is any indicator for how that's going to be responded to, I don't have a lot of high hopes for Northeastern. There were countless moments in which they did not account for the Stand United that caught them off guard and punished them for that. Same thing can be said for the package delivery system. The big question is what skin? What skin is Ascent going to use? Is it going to be the dog? Is it Corgi?
It better be.
It better be Corgi or Arcade Corgi because, the missiles are just the best thing. Pew! I'm not a developer by any means. I'm just very easily entertained by noises and clicks and stuff. But we'll have to see. Northeastern, again, having a 1-0 lead. This could be the last match for the night. They just got to wrap things up. But Boise State, especially with that comp, does not look like they want to roll over easy, Corgi skin or not.
Yeah, definitely so, and I really like the changes that they did end up making coming into Game 2. I think they've given themselves more options, and it's going to be, I think, continuing to be more of the fireworks we've seen.
Yeah, Northeastern versus Boise State, second game, League of Legends. This could be the one that Boise State is able to tie things up with, or can Northeastern close things out for tonight? We'll have to see. It's going to be a tough one. I mean, yeah, we've seen just the way that these two teams play. It's very combative, very confrontational. And that is another reason why maybe the Ezreal wasn't the best suited for the draft. Is it's very passive and not fighty. If you look at the rest of the builds, not seeing anything completely unstandard. Alternatively to last game, we don't see the Conqueror on Camille. I think more standard would be the grasp that we see here. Press the attack. We see a Predator Poppy. Dude, I love this champion. I love anything that anyone confident enough to play Poppy jungle, I do got to give a bit of props to.
Yeah,
especially Predator Poppy.
And I think we have an identifier here as well from Goblin on the kind of misfortune he's going to go.
That's the lethality, baby.
Yeah.
That's the E-max.
Yeah, the lethality max misfortune. So not looking at that team fight, he wants to max out that damage as early as possible with the lethality build. Obviously, it's going to hamper the ultimate just a little bit.
Yeah, and the best thing about this as well, you have so much damage built into the kit. You can go double up. That's fantastic when you can line up the shots. But why risk having to click things when you can simply just max your E, make it rain, and do a billion damage anyway? And slowing down both Nami and Lucian gives opportunity for your Corki to land poke, gives opportunity for Rel to engage, and keeps you relatively safe.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is the case. I mean, there's a lot of good arguments for doing it, that's for sure. And I think that something that will be interesting to watch as well is how this mid lane push is going to go, because despite Echo being a melee champion, that Time Winder obviously is very good at clearing the waves, but it's able to kind of make those minions able to be killed pretty quickly as well on a couple of good go rounds.
It looks like we also see Ascent going for those cheeky left and right clicks. Occasionally, the mixed damage will help keep Echo unable to really keep himself safe for that. Here comes the engage, the flash one at that! The bottom lane action does not stop here. Here comes the Ignite on both sides. Boise State trying to get themselves in range. Red will pick up the first blood. And it's a 1 versus 1. We trade over, and unfortunately, Northeastern don't get the first blood. But they do get the kill on the ADC.
And Boise State able to get the first blood there, although it ended up going towards Light Pulse, not onto Goblin. So that's just slightly unlucky for them, but I think they will take the first blood gold here. But I think they're going to need to hurry back here for Goblin and get him picking up some of these waves, because now Lucian's sitting on a kill. He's going to also have pretty much a full wave of experience and gold ahead as well.
It looks like he did too well to deny most of that farm here from away from Goblin. Should tie things up. Looks like he will stay in lane. The big thing to note though in the bottom lane, Lucian still has flash. That's going to be a huge thing to deter Lee Sin, and he's sort of engaged from Rel. Yeah, you might be able to slow Lucian, but if he's still got that flash available, he's still relatively safe with that flash dash combo. And we see Lee Sin not really finding an opportunity. Mortar maybe would have liked to be a little bit more aggressive before now, but maybe not an opportunity to say, hey, I was looking to come bottom lane. They say, don't worry about it. We lost the level 2. We're going to maybe fight later when we have some sums. And Lee Sin is going to go back to farming. I do want to see what this Poppy path is. When you are jungle Poppy, ganking mid is your best opportunity, because you have these 4 tiny pillars of wall, the ones extending through the river, the entry points for mid lane. Right here, he actually dodges it away. That's exactly the sweet spot for Poppy jungle though. Great wrap awareness and game sense here from Ascent. Will get himself to safety. Will have to flash away from the stun from Echo. Yeah, it happens.
I think he got a little too overconfident there, trying to trade some damage back onto the Poppy. Revisiting his lane. You know,
how dare you? I'm the powerful old.
Right, remind the tax of visiting the mid lane.
Here comes the stop. They just have to land the Q. They have to wait it out. They've done this before. He waits out the shield almost perfectly, but cannot get himself in range. The flash from Coach Timo would have been perfect if it weren't for Mortar having the ward hop. Wow. That was pretty dang cool though.
That could have been very unfortunate there for Mortar, but he's going to end up getting it.
Here comes the TP from Camille, so that's hook shot. The dive will be turned away, and the CC is here. Does not matter. Oink will be turned away. So much damage being given out from this Lucian combo. He's doing so much, and here comes Set to pinpoint that. The dive continues. The damage is there. Doesn't even get the sweet spot there. So much damage being given over. Lucian getting a double kill. Set getting a double kill. And in the mid lane, Ascent being turned away from sheer death. One more dash will do it, but Phoenix cannot get in range. He gets the flash E!
Is he dead?
He does not die. It's just the first auto from the tower. And Boise State tries to use the resources to keep things safe, but things go awry with the quickness for them.
And while on the other side of the map, Mortar is just taking away all those camps on the top side. So he picked up a couple of extra camps there in a 4-on-5 pretty much across the map. Boise State ends up getting a couple of kills, but trading all their lives to do it. And 8 kills through 6 minutes. We're making pretty good pace for last game.
Yeah, and that's okay. Here comes the Predator. This movement speed is going to be huge. Trying to find the wall angle, could not find it. Doesn't want to use the ability, pushing themselves into a dangerous spot. They want to be flipped under a tower from Rel, but having these Predator boots online early means that this Poppy presence is going to be
map work. This is going to essentially be global Poppy.
Yeah, definitely will be, and you know it's gonna really test the you know the game knowledge of Boise State. They got to remember that Poppy W, it's gonna ground you, and if you get grounded, you can basically just already see the fountain.
Kiss your health bar goodbye.
Exactly, and say hi to the fountain early there.
You get that fast recall on lockdown.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Slow bullet time, not online though, but Make It Rain will be slowing things for Lisa in the land. There's that stop there. The W from Demacian Diplomacy is going to be huge. They're going to look to chase though. Relso has the dive down. Crash down will land. Here comes the CC. Poppy does only have the boots, so they are just as squishy as any other person on the team. But Echo's here. Will he get the double stun? He will, but here comes the retaliation from Boise State. Reinforcements are here, and Mortar cannot be stopped. It's a 1 versus 2. Lucian, doesn't matter how fed you are. He'll actually take one with him. Oh my goodness, that man is strong. And that was without the Nami.
I mean, that's also what Lucian is, an early game
Mortar?
ADC.
You hoped. A shutdown gold and a nice chunk of team going over to Echo. Probably the last person you want to give it on over to. But
Yeah, that Echo looking scary.
it is Electrocute Echo. Means that you don't always get one hit. It's not the Dark Harvest one pop setup. It's the I have to hit at least 3 abilities one pop setup Echo.
Yeah, but when Echo is flying around in the late game, you got the you've got the Q flying around. All he needs is a Q and an E auto, and he's got it.
Here he is. And speaking of flying around, he's in the bottom lane. Lucian has been traded out to the mid lane. The ranged matchup will now be Corki versus Lucian, and Lucian's looking mighty strong with that 3-1-1 kill streak right now.
And this is an interesting adaptation here, putting Lucian mid lane here against this Corki. I wonder if it's to deal with the fact that the Corki's inevitably going to have good wave push. So you want that Lucian back. It looks like Nami's going to be here as well.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my!
You're kidding me.
Wow.
Yow. Yeah, that's
he hit every
Lucian's
bullet.
got money.
He got every hit of that culling, and that's what ended up doing it there. I mean, that is so much damage early game. It doesn't seem like it does a lot because typically you don't get hit by every bullet. If you get hit by every bullet, that's easily 650, 700 damage early game.
Yeah, and not the fact that the PTA was fully accessed, so the extra damage was coming through on top. And Nami buffs abilities too, so
Global Poppy.
who knew? Global Poppy. Hashtag Global Poppy. Where is Poppy? What's she doing right now?
Looking around here at the top side, potentially going after Elo Dad, who's got to play this one a little bit carefully here, especially since she's got 3 people up on her side.
Doesn't know though. Has some game sense, not committing fully to the hook shot engage. Here comes the stop, and you can't escape the Poppy train. Does Hextech Ultimatum even get stopped there? And the full combo just comes out. Coach will pick up a 2nd kill, a 3rd kill for themselves, but in a 2-3 versus 1, Elodad could not fight that out. I wonder though, for the interaction's sake,
But
if you Hextech Ultimatum, does that count as a dash? But I don't think you get CC'd during it, right?
I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I've seen that interaction
That was a
yet.
moment to try for science, I think.
But
You ulti like the Poppy or the Nami under tower. That buys you maybe enough time to wait for the W to be down on the Poppy, and then you hook shot to the other side, get that shield reset, and then W 2 members for the extra health. Doesn't matter. Here comes the dive.
my.
He's got the Z-Ride.
Oh, wait.
Z-Drive Resonance. But the fight here! Mortar with the sniper. I thought he was playing Lee Sin, not Caitlyn.
My goodness. Wow. Great, great kill right there from Mortar, going to help defend his mid laner. And while they sent 3 people, when Northeastern sent 3 people topside, I was questioning the resource allocation there because that. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
I guess I didn't need to hold long there, as Goblin ends up going down to another kill to that Lucian. But I mean, they sent 3 people topside to the Camille, and they gave up the Infernal Dragon. So Boise State did get that one here. Oh boy.
No?
Yeah.
Not in range? Not deactivated. That ward's not in range. They have no idea there's a ward there. It looks like Mortar's going to be the target, but the flash over the wall. The follow flash with the safeguard to safety. We'll keep him alive for a couple more seconds. Magnet Storm will fall through, but the ignite! The shield from Rolf! Oh, the flash!
The smite!
The flash smite from Poppy!
The disrespect!
The disrespect to BM smite will be flipped over into Corki's welcoming arms. Ascent desperately needs this gold, and he'll catch it in. Moonks is playing with fire with that disrespect, though. I'm telling you what, you cannot give over something like that so easily.
My goodness.
I was just about to mention how it looks like Border is just the bastion for hope for Boise State. He gets PM flash smited. This Lucian is a problem. Here's a 1v2. Hook shot not available. It's off cooldown.
Oh no.
He has himself the safety. You don't want to walk into this, but he gets the 1v1! And the shutdown will go over to Goblin. He'll get some desperately needed cash flow. And at a perfect time, too. This is coming right before the mid-game.
Yeah, exactly.
That was terrifying. That's like, you ever see one of those horror movies like Halloween with Jason?
Yeah.
He's like walking down the street with his knife. Lucian is effectively Jason, walking down any lane with his guns.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, he stepped up, and in 2 seconds, he's been able to get the kill there. But I mean, we are a couple of kills away from averaging 2 kills per minute. Oh my.
Kick into the stun. The crash down's here. Here comes the tidal wave. But the Poppy ult will reset things only but for a moment.
Oh,
Here's the Gourd Drinker.
Oh, my.
Mortar cannot be afforded to purchase this item anymore. That item is broken. He's using it with the Safeguard Temper Will. It is such a cool combo. But gosh, he keeps getting away with murder.
That is crazy. I mean, he goes in. He should have died and does not. Gets out, gets the kill as well. Boise State gonna pull one back there, and they've definitely managed to stabilize the game. There is a about a 1.7 thousand gold lead right now.
Okay, we'll call it. But
yeah.
look, still plates available for another minute.
Yeah, if they're able to clean some of these up here, that definitely will help them. But they're in a good spot here, especially considering they have played it towards a bit more of a mid-late game composition that doesn't come online nearly as quickly as Northeastern's has.
Yeah, we see here Corky, a champion that has mid to late game dominance, but has to scale up there. 231 stacks on the Tier of the Goddess means that they're well on their way to getting that completed. And completed once done will give them so much power. You know, on the other side of things, though, Phoenix did end up building, I think it's going Night Harvester? Oh, that's Rocket Belt. Gotta be Rocket.
I believe that's got to be Rocket Belt, because that's typically what you want to do in Echo, because the mobility and the utility that it gives you is so big. The wave clear is also nice, and the other stats that come from the items that built in it as well are
Poppy
huge.
build is very interesting. Is this Sterix Gauge Rush? Poppy?
I had figured it.
And then the Tidal Wave will be there. There's no one to follow suit. Light Bolt will be left alone. As unfortunately, I think the Magnastorm got snuffed out. Could not get the bullet time to follow suit.
My,
but here comes the package! Corky's here, and he's going to be lighting them up. Phosphorus bombs aplenty. Here comes the rockets as well. And the rest of the Boise State squad, 4 versus 3, will turn things away. They get that first +1, and they'll walk away with it cleanly. And then the top lane, it's a 1v1. Coach is going to continue to fight Elodad. These two titans of top laners continue to duke it out, but the hook shot will get the flash away. Hextech Ultimatum still available. Has not been used, maybe waiting to save it for a later fight. Wow. TP is up though for Coach.
Wow, that was a lot of resources we just saw expended on all sides of the map there. And it was a good job for Boise State initially to survive the initial play, and we talked about it pre-game. Northeastern, how well are they going to keep track of the package? They lost track of it there.
Jason, Mortar again, the Bastion for Hope will be bubbled up. And the Q, but here comes the second one. And there goes the Lucian. Doesn't matter how fed you are, Mortar will continue to take you down a peg or two. Boise State being forced to retreat in the mid lane. That's a 2v2. On the bottom lane, I wish I knew what was happening. It looks like it's just going to be Light Bolt versus the jungler. And Goblin will soon run into possibly a Poppy. Will go over the wall with the dragon, but the Predator is unleashed, and the Poppy will knock it to the wall. That is so much damage coming out for Poppy. The full combo's there, but it only buys a certain amount of time, and it's not enough for the retreat and the reinforcements here from Northeastern.
But they did get that flash out of the misfortune.
It's not over. Poppy continuing to look for blood. I wonder if this is a Divine Sunderer Poppy, I think.
Ooh, that would make sense.
That's pretty spicy. You actually get 2 procs of that off with the full combo. What I find so weird, though, is this a Thornmail Rush from Light Bolt?
I would think so. I mean, it makes.
Is that wise?
I think it makes sense when you consider who's probably hitting him. I mean, it's going to be an auto attack, and you've got 3, ADs.
What's the dragon? If this is Mountain Drake, this is going to be dangerous. Okay, it's the ocean. You do not want to give more walls for Poppy to push you into.
No, definitely don't.
Echo's buffed up, looking for blood, goes for the W under tower, but there's no one there to get access to. Goblin manages to get himself out of vision there. So Echo did not want to go blindly, even with that ultimate. Red buff is alive. See if they donate that over. No, it's going to continue the intervention of the jungler. At this moment, Mortar is still probably the strongest combatant for Boise State until these other members scale up.
Yeah, and that definitely would make sense. And I think that they've got to remember that without Mortar, they really don't have much strength. I think that the Camille is a lot stronger than it seems like right now because Elodad's farmed really well. He's a good level as well. He's still, he's the same level as Tomio right now, and I think that that's something that you got to consider as well. They're relatively around the same level of strength. I think it's a 2 smaller items that Tomio has right now over Elodad, so that Camille is definitely very strong in her own right as well. I think they're just right now still looking to farm, chill out, get those items up, and then look for those fights. From what we've seen so far, Boise State's done a good job with their engagements. They've been able to start off fights well. They just haven't had the damage to follow it up. If they're able to get that, then maybe they'll be able to swing some of these plays. They're going 1 for 1, 2 for 2, into more 3 for 0s.
There's the Thornmill Rush coming out. And I mean, it's probably a great value item. Able to say, hey, look at me, I don't have a lot of health, but you have so much armor and that passive. And mainly because of the fact that Boise State's bottom lane is pretty far behind.
Yeah.
5-3-1 Lucian with almost, over 50 CS over on the opposing maybe 2 goblins. They're trying to get the money that they need. They're sitting on 1.5 items, and there's 2 full items on Lucian.
Yeah, I did skip the boots though, but I guess that the Cloud Dragon didn't really need to.
He will be given away. I've seen this before. This is the classic Goblin, I'm just playing base situation. We had seen the Boise State members waiting in the wings to back up the misfortune, but nothing was pulled in terms of initiation on the side of Northeastern.
I think they're going to collapse bot side here on Phoenix.
Go for Phoenix. Here comes the kick. The kick through the wall. The follow mid-Q.
Oh,
Here comes the tidal wave. Here's the damage. It doesn't matter. Impressive as that may have been, Hiccup. That was pretty cool. She's got some moves.
Yeah. Very impressive there.
Here comes the dive mid lane. Here's a trade of resources and a kill trade as well. Lucian will pick up another one. Maybe looking to push Lee Sin out of the way. Will dodge sideways. That ultimate. 1v1, here goes 40 damage, and that is so much burst. So Echo does have the ability to just return all of that and heal fully up if he does want to fight out on this Corki. It's tough. It's tough to beat Goblin right now. They have so many ways to get access to him, and there's not a lot of ways for Boise State to protect him immediately.
Yeah, he's just going to have to position here perfectly almost every time, especially without having flash there. But something that I thought was a little funny there, you've heard of the scary Lucian with no vision. Well, have you heard of the scary Corki with no vision?
True.
Because the
That's
Echo...
a mirror mana too. That is a chunk of damage coming your way.
Well, Phoenix definitely recognized that, ran away as soon as he appeared out of the bush. So I gotta be...
I still haven't checked the skin. I'm a failure. Package will be online soon, if not within the next minute or so, but doesn't matter. Predator Poppy is the second package. A flash away and out of the zone will get them to safety. But the hook shot will be completely snuffed away from Poppy. That's another resource that Boise State just not hand over to the Northeastern team.
But you look at how many resources were invested in trying to make something like right there work. No Poppy ultimate, obviously, so they weren't able to try to continue the play.
Oh, the damage coming out. Here comes the shield bow to keep himself safe. Now, you've heard of Corki in the bush, but have you heard of Echo in the bush? Here comes the rewind. The ultimate's going to come out from Lee Sin, but does not land. The Ward Hop didn't get access there, and the TP was enough of a deterrent to stop them from diving. Echo probably being one of the worst champions to try and chase down. I think it's the right call.
Yeah, and very intelligent right there from Phoenix as well, recognizing if he goes for that, he prevents Boise State from setting up for that Dragon, because Northeastern had 4 members topside in no position to try to contest that Dragon. Instead, though, they're able to get back down bot side and reestablish their vision. And Boise State...
It's Earth for it. Okay, I respect it.
That's the classic. I think you got to do that.
Yeah, that's the next best. Dragon will be started up here from the Soul Poppy, and look at the members from Northeastern. They are creating a wall of deterrence. A trade attempt will be given over as a ping from Boise State to set up the Baron, but the Rift Scuttle has been claimed, so it's all been node information.
Well, they're going for it
They're
now.
going for it anyway. They're calling the bluff. And
They have the
Northeastern has
package.
to respond.
They have the
They
package.
have the package. They have the Magnet Storm. This is going to be
Oh,
explosive.
boy!
Here it goes. Here's the combo in the river, and here comes so much damage from backline access. Will be Northeastern. So much, and Goblin will be torn and punched asunder. So much damage on both sides, but no one's going to be remaining the victor. Boise State set up a plan, called the bluff. Northeastern's going to lose 2.
Oh, we got it.
Not done just yet. Dash over the wall with hook shot, and the blast cone kill. Blast cone killer looking through, and Mortar and 3 others of Boise State total looking to continue to push this. They call the bluff from Northeastern. They managed to win out and eke out a +1 advantage, and they're not done yet. Here comes the kick, the Dragon's Rage. Echo does not have an ultimate to stand with, and if he did, he was too CC'd to use it. And Boise State make a aggressive play and come out well ahead.
I love the bold call there from Boise State. Even though they just conceded the Dragon, and even though they've been down in gold most of this game, they recognize their strength. They recognize they have the package, and even with the Rift Scuttler, they were able to force Northeastern into a choke point, and they break off the map, and a beautiful engage starting off there from Light Pulse. I mean, that was a 3 or 4 man engage there on that rel, and that kicks the whole fight off, but end up going 4 for 2 there in the favor of Boise State, and they now hold a gold lead for the first time this game.
They had used their abilities and their resources to do what cost them the game in game 1. They split the team fight. Both the Magnet Storm with the Corky package, Northeastern was sent scattering, and having less targets to, calculate the risk towards engaging on makes it a more informed decision for Boise State to fight. In the meantime, though, they've cleared out the vision, and now Northeastern looks their heads towards the Baron, and Boise State does not look the wiser. Here comes the blue trinket to get a few seconds of vision, and Boise State is sent scrambling towards it to try and defend.
It's going too slow, though.
Leeson is a pretty dangerous fighting. Oh, but he goes for it! Blue team will actually get the Baron. The Lucian damage is just too high. And here comes the culling on the backside. Looks like Set was looking for an engage, but Poppy has popped the Predator, and she's looking for blood as well. The shot will get 1 into safety. Goblin's still looking to be the target possibly for this Poppy. Unfortunately for Mortar, the damage was just too high on the Lucian, and Baron gets popped as he goes over the wall. Can't really escape a set Poppy once you're over in their area, but they look to use this Baron to take this unit.
And that's the second time we've seen Boise State almost fall asleep a little bit there. I mean, they had the Baron control, they let it get cleared out while they were resetting, but then they didn't think about how they could potentially be starting up the Baron. It happened in game 1 too. They just were able to kind of collapse around it and make sure that they ended up cleaning that one up effectively.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, just as Northeastern has to take the stand united, the Corky package, and always have it circulating in their mind. Boise State needs to continue to recognize that this Northeastern team has damage and tons of it.
Yeah, and when you consider who it is as well, I mean, Lucian's a phenomenal Baron taker as well. That's going to be burning down so fast, especially considering he's at 3 items at 25 minutes here.
Items recently got buffed. They have the Nami to continue to pump extra damage into him. Bunch of reasons why you can't count them out. And yeah, that could be a crucial mistake for the Broncos. It does not look like they're, again, willing to concede just yet. Mortar continuing to look for picks is going to be their saving grace if they're able to get informed risks and decisions made. They see one in the top lane, no Set somewhere there. Just lost vision of him through Fog of War. And I like this. Northeastern wants to keep the Boise State team guessing, because the more information that they give over, they respect the Broncos so much to use that information to a great degree.
Yeah, exactly. And I think right now, we're seeing Boise State kind of back.
To the top lane. Elo Dad being called out. They get himself to say a few times. He does get the hook shot under the tower. Lucian does not get the clutches on this Camille. But it looks like they're putting 3 members again in this top lane. Does Boise State respond in kind? So they're just going to push the mid to the tier 1. Down to mid tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's multiple times this game we've seen the vast investment of resources topside and allows Boise State to clear out mid.
For an opportunity. Echo's on the flank. Scuttle Crab will be there as extra movement speed, but they're maybe walking into the welcoming arms of this Echo. He does not have his stun out though.
Package is available.
Mode.
The package
is available. Forky still has it ticking right now. It's going to be a huge fight either way. Boise State can start the Dragons, go for the 50-50. As they continue to zone Northeastern away. Northeastern looking for an opportunity. And Echo will be the backline diver. They're going to go out. So much damage. Half of the HP bar for Rito that will be given away. As they push forward, here comes
they're going in.
And the damage from Corky is huge! As the set tears asunder the hopes from Northeastern team. But on the backside, Echo was able to get the backline access. It's just going to be, oh my goodness, the flash W here. From this side, Elo Dad into 1 versus 2. Can he do so? He does not have the opportunity to dash. He's going to keep himself alive, but only for a moment. And the mortar will continue. I could have sworn one of other Boise State members just died there too. Super weird, but Coach Tomio popping off on this set. It's just the fact that this Northeastern team has so many threats and so many ways to get to the back line that Boise State, unfortunately, can still not be able to break through. They get the Lucian, they get the Hyper Carry killed, but then lose the team fight.
Yeah, I mean, they played that one very well. I mean, you had Ascent with a great job. They're, fully committing.
Oh my.
Wow. 10 kills versus 10 kills.
Everybody.
10 kills versus 10 kills.
Well, set the champion design, people.
But,
so I was probably interactive.
But, yeah, I mean, I would... it's a good champion.
Great design team.
But,
sometimes he gets 200 years.
But I think when you look at it here, especially at that dragon fight, though, you have Corky doing a lot of damage there. I mean, if that had been a few minutes earlier, he probably loses that a lot faster. Instead, though, he's now sitting at 3 items. He's looking really good now, and he's pretty much online for the most part. He's going to be able to really start pumping out a lot of damage in these fights. And now they're just really looking at Goblin, and I think they're looking at Elo Dad as well. They need some more damage from those two, because their engagements have been very good. They just haven't had enough damage yet to finish them off fully. And I think, like we saw at that river fight, there was just enough there from Ascent to be able to capitalize on the great engagement again from the side of the Rel.
Not that I don't feel bad for Goblin, but I do also feel like Boise State, with how powerful bullet time is as an ultimate, they need to give resources. Leaving Goblin to die like that, I mean, it's not the best look. But here comes the engage anyway. Poppy, ulti, forward, the dive and crash down. But they'll be flash thrown into the tower, and the ultimate's going to come out as well. Showstopper will be here. Northeastern behind the tower will lose 1, but will take 3 away. Boise State 2 versus 4. Doesn't even matter if they lose the Lucian. They have so many other resources to put into the set, to put into the Poppy, to give Echo, and they're going to go full retreat to the Baron.
Yeah, and I mean, even without the Lucian, they're still going to have plenty of damage to be able to pump this one out. And I mean, we look at your Boise State, you're down to 3 members, maybe 4 if this, it does take long enough.
Look at the positioning from the Broncos right now. They're in the jungle from Northeastern. Ascent will get targeted here, with knocked into the wall, pushing through. The shield bow will be possible. He does not have enough damage. Forces the Echo ult away. But now it is just the Mortar looking for an opportunity to keep himself alive, to maybe go for the 50-50 on the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, and just aggressive positioning there without really much support from the team there. And I think you've got to be, if you're going to go for something like that, you've got to have the full commitment of the team with everybody alive and converging at the same time to kind of make that one a little bit more pick and choose, rather than, oh, there's only one guy so we can easily focus him.
Mortar looking to get themselves alive. Gives a lot of the damage over to Goblin. And going to be engaged. The Showstopper will be there as well. Echo will pick up another one. The Broncos Hot maybe shopping before base. I don't know what was going on there, but Northeastern looking for an opportunity now. Gonna most likely secure this Baron. Bullet time can still contest if Goblins can get a full ulti off. But it doesn't look like they even want to challenge this, as 3 members from the Broncos are hovering around mid trying to push this in.
Yeah, and I think that's the right call. Without Mortar, their best chance to steal the Baron is practically gone. And I think pushing out that mid wave as far as they can, pushing out top wave as much as they can, and potentially looking at getting just some vision down for Dragon here, potentially waiting to see if someone strays too far. That's going to have to be the name of the game for them for a little while.
I like this pickup. I didn't notice this earlier, but Point has actually picked up inflated skill counts, which effectively halves all of Corky's damage, at least for the right click. Both the magic and the physical damage for down. Reload Dad getting himself dangerously close to the, what I like to call, run at you comp from Northeastern. And here it goes. Here comes the Australias and the massive amount of movement speed. Predator as well. The knockup's there. Goblin has the full ulti, but it's on nobody. And the rest of the damage will follow suit. Poppy will get to the backline access and live with 1 HP. Mortar looking for something here. Goes forward, but the dash from Lucian's going to be huge.
2.
He'll get 2. Can he get 3 here? Cannot see on the other side of the map, but Boise State will give over the 3. We'll get the 4-piece chicken McNuggets, and he does! Mortar with the quadra kills in the grips of defeat will keep Boise State alive.
What a play there from Mortar, picking up the quadra kill there, keeping Boise State alive. And a great finish there from him, as it definitely was looking dicey there for Boise State, but great fight from them. And the Corky damage as well definitely was huge in that fight, but Goblin getting off pretty much the full ultimate from the Misfortune.
Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great ultimate there from Goblin. Did so much damage. You had Corky staying alive, managing to do a lot of damage as well with the 3.5 items that he's having right now. And obviously Mortar just getting up close and personal, taking out Lucian, taking out Poppy, and taking out Echo as well.
Lee Sin falls off. Okay. Who said that? Who's ever said that ever?
Lee Sin's never
Maybe
fallen.
Mortar Lee Sin doesn't fall.
Yeah.
Who knows? But we see other crucial items coming online. We now have a Mythic in the hands of Light Pulse, and that Locket, blocking even just the minuscule amount of damage, can be life or death for the rest of these Boise State members. And we almost have a full build on Mortar. He only has 1 item left to finish.
He's at, I think he's sitting at half an item because that's the Executioner's calling.
That's all you need is the healing reduction, and it looks like Northeastern wants to push out and regain vision control. But they feel it. They feel like another misstep like that and the game can quickly go awry for them. In for a death push, waiting for maybe a member from Broncos to push forward. Woo! The double auto attack, that would just be half of a Sen's health, just real quick, and that was without any sort of retaliation.
He does have the shield bow though.
Pretty cool.
He does have that shield bow though, which will help him heal back up if he wants to take that route. But most of Boise State now is doing really well on items wise. They're sitting at either they need 2 more items or they need 1 more item in the case of Mortar.
Oh,
but
that's a full Infinity Edge on Ascent now.
Oh boy.
That man's going to red.
Yep.
Coming through. Serpent's Fang purchase, that's all I gotta say. Whoever doubts the Serpent's Fang's an item, why would Goblin build it otherwise? It's a great item, especially with how many shields Northeastern is rocking right now.
Yeah. It definitely is an intelligent addition, and I think, you know, Goblin, even though he went down in that last fight, I think he made the calculated decision to correctly keep the ultimate going because
Mortar knows he can win this. He's got the backup to substantiate the claim as well. And Phoenix is put in the ground! Just an instant combo, and it's not done yet. Poppy's trying to save this, but it's not going to be enough. They'll only be pushed away for a moment. Hextech ultimatum, the dash is gone. Poppy can't stop this ult. She can't stop the Mortar train! And here comes the coin to stop a little bit of that damage coming through. Boise State, I'm going to say, we'll count our W's here, take this small dub, and walk over to the Dragon Pit with it.
yeah.
No Dragon for a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, is they did a great job there. They took out the jungler, they took out the mid laner, but there's not much for them to gain right now other than just a bit of reprieve from pressure from Northeastern, and I think that's just something that they're going to have to be willing to take there, as this game definitely has evened out as these items have definitely started to come through for Boise State.
Yeah, and we see that most of the game was going Northeastern's way based off the fact that they had as much access as they wanted to whatever targets they wanted. That red reset, didn't it? Oh, okay, never mind. Almost. He's a better junkie. Who cares?
But, you know, I think when you look at this here, you know, you've had Goblin slowly scaling up, kind of like we saw Oink do last game on the Misfortune exactly. And Oink, you know, the effectiveness of that Lucian has started to wane a little bit.
Yeah, hasn't really gotten much of anything beyond,
you know, that
the
short
first initial kills.
Yeah, that short range, the auto range that Lucian has with how close he has to get to the action, it's very risky. And that's, you know, I think part of the reason why he's been contained over the last few minutes. And
Here comes the Predator. Here comes the moment. Northeastern looking for something. Pushing down, pushing away, and splitting Boise State. Doesn't go for the full target acquisition.
Oh my!
They go for the flash. Taunt and stun here on Border, but he'll flash out. The package is here.
Oh my!
It's on no one. Corky will blow up Oink. And here comes the bullet time. That will be stopped for more right clicks. Cannot do anything as Coach will be put down, but he'll take Goblin with him. He's still alive. Won't be for long as Boise State says you can go for those other guys. They're not our carries. And Boise State will actually win out a almost perfect ace. Hiccup, you're playing with fire right now, girl.
yeah, probably not the smart, good fight there to take. But Boise State, I mean, a very aggressive engage there from the Poppy, but no follow-up for easily 3 or 4 seconds. I mean, all of her CC was wasted just keeping him there. And, you know, Mortar obviously being very strong, not really going to get taken down by that. And as a result, he's able to hold on. They get a bunch of flashes out until the cavalry arrives. And a great package there from Ascent. He just decimated the lines of Northeastern. And I think he got a triple kill just on the bomb explosion.
Yeah, I mean, he did so much damage. That Lucian, as you mentioned, has to put himself in such a dangerous way. Unfortunately, all of the abilities Corky exchange are well beyond that of, oh, here comes a 50-50, but does not make it. Here comes the rewind. Get himself to safety. The hook shot won't follow. But Lucian putting himself effectively in Corky's death range. Not a good look for the Lucian.
Yeah,
what can you do?
I mean, definitely not, but I mean, at a certain point, that package is up so frequently that you have to continuously be aware of it. But I think at a certain point, the Northeastern team has to recognize they can't just be going for this Lee Sin, even if he's their biggest threat.
They can't. He's a Conqueror, Ravenous Hydra, Gore Drinker, Black Cleaver. I'm just going to list all of items. Sterix, Gage, Lee Sin. You cannot burst him.
Yeah, and you've got to remember that. And I think right now the biggest threat on this team is probably that Corky.
There's the Corky. Here comes the 1v1. Corky's going to be looking in the wings.
Echo's in trouble here.
Echo's in so much trouble right now. He's going to be called out for the location for his recall because the rest of Boise State has blood in the water. They've sniffed him out. He will get almost one shot. Get himself to safety? No, hook shot will follow the miss. The Zonius will spell your demise.
It was a trap.
Zonius is the best and worst item in the game. Fight me.
Well, it wasn't the Zonias. It was a stopwatch.
Okay, it's the same thing.
But the difference is he can't reactivate that stopwatch, and he was going to go down anyway. He wasted the stopwatch. He has to buy the Zonias now if he wants another fight.
Scott is close, having just his armlet. A Seeker's arm guard is a substantial amount of gold required for the Zonias.
But he just got that.
Well, then he's further behind the pace tonight. Gone. Elo Dad looking for an engage. Here comes
oh
the back
my God!
On the backside, and it'll catch 3 Northeastern. What are you doing? You got to respect it. Light Pulse will find the angle, and Boise State will collapse on it. There goes a Guardian's Angel for Coach, and I think that's the game. That's what that means. Boise State finds an angle, and they will actually clench it up, tie it up 1-1 in game 2.
Well, really impressive win for them. They didn't do so hot starting out the gate there, but they managed to keep their cool. They found their openings to be able to come back into the game. They did a good job finishing it off.
Yeah, they were able to continue to fight back, and with their backs against the wall, it almost seemed, were able to find fight after fight in which, you know, playing for the team might be the ultimate advantage, but doesn't matter what I say. If you want, you know, advice of what was going to happen there in that game, score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure, and you'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. I mean, that's what I would look forward to, being able to do stuff like that. That was pretty cool. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a very cool experience. I would highly recommend anyone there to be go checking that one out immediately.
I mean, you learn stuff like this, learning how to do the flash taunts and getting those packages in the perfect position, finding out maybe there's a lesson plan. It's like a 6-month study about how to play and live like Mortar on the edge but never dying. Could be a separate lesson plan entirely, but you know, when it comes down to it, if you need to put something on your shoulders, might as well be your jungler, because junglers are the best. Hoorah. I'm a jungle main.
I could sense the homerism there. I think that they tend to be the most impactful, but I think the game comes down to mid lane usually. I think mid lane usually has the most impact in terms of overall game and performance right there. But in that one, it definitely. I'm not a mid laner. Oh, okay. But it definitely is Mortar's game, and we're just living in it.
Yeah, much to my hubris, I'm sure that's not the case. That jungles are the best. It just feels cool when you're ahead. And, you know, the rest of the team was playing their part equally well. In addition, we saw Camille continue to pressure the backline. Elo Dad continue to be kind of that mosquito that does a ton of damage if left alone. Ascent was able to get to that 3-item power spike and just rip the health bars from Northeastern asunder. Goblin continued to be damage left alone. But more so than anything, like a distractionary force.
Well,
which, when you get the W, does it really matter?
You know, that's a good question. But I think that the Misfortune twice now has been a late game pick.
It's a sleeper pick.
Yeah, it's been the sleeper pick. It goes like, 2-5, 2-8-6 throughout early mid game, and then all of a sudden it's like they pick up like a random triple kill, and all of a sudden they're just doing boatloads of damage, and that's basically what happened in that last one.
We've seen 2 drastically different builds from it as well. So
do the same thing.
Yeah, do the same thing. The champion's just super well designed, and ADCs are completely balanced and fun to play. That you have to get to 3 items to dominate the game if played perfectly. I could never ADC. The whole requirement to play at that specific echelon. Not me. I don't got the skills. But with that being said, Northeastern now is going to have to be the team to be forced to adapt. I mean, Boise State came out with a little bit of a different comp. We saw something similar to the play style that Northeastern had demonstrated during the first game. Tried to be emulated in the second game, but it didn't end up working. But we will still be needing to get to that point. Again, I've completely run out of water. I'm sure you folks at home could use some as well, as we're going to throw it to a quick break before Game 3.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Boise State tying things up against Northeastern in this League of Legends season in the UAL. Me, Bertel, him, Siphon. Us, excited, sweaty, tired, all of the things above. But we're not done yet. We're headed into Game 3 for this competitive match, and winner takes us home.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting here. Now we're back to that best of one, really, and it's going to be interesting to see which one of these teams is going to come out on top, because apparently late game king is the way to go. I mean, both teams went lose lane, win game strategy, and it ended up paying out for them both times. So we'll have to see if that trend's going to continue here for a third time. But very interestingly, so you remember how we said blue side's usually the one that wins?
Yeah.
Red side's won twice.
It's time to prove everybody wrong. This one game will encapsulate all other professional analysts incorrect, that blue side is the most winningest lane and side of the game. But we'll see. We'll see if that trend remains to be seen. It's possible that it might just be a little bit of confidence coming into these games. It's a little bit of momentum coming in as well. And we'll have to see, because both the teams have a score and one under their belt.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we've seen some things that definitely worked for both teams. I think we've seen some things that haven't really worked nearly as well. And I think that we'll probably be seeing a settling on what today has been working for them. I think, for example, I think for Boise State, I think you got to stick with the carry top laner if you can. Keep Lee Sin there for Motor. He's been great on it.
I don't think Lee Sin's getting through this ban phase, if I'm going to be honest.
It did in Game 2, so we'll see if it does in Game 3. I think another, I think the Corky pick was really good. I think I think if they can, they got to get it again. Maybe a different AD carry that can be a bit more active early game and has a little bit more mobility, so maybe he's not being picked on as much. I know Goblin. Right. Goblin was big and very impactful towards the end of that game, but it didn't. He definitely was picked on most of that game. If you can improve that there, but
there's another ADC that Goblin's known for, and I won't spoil it before the draft, because just to see that champion come out would encapsulate what Goblin likes to do as a player and the whole help team mentality. So we'll have to see. But here are again the reminder for the rules. It is a best of 3. We are on Game 3. It's still a 5v5, still on the Rift. No Vex allowed. And this time, I think that if anything remains to be true, Northeastern will pick the red side this game. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think at least they are picking the side anyway, as we do wait the draft to come up here. But I think, I think Boise State's definitely learned a lot this series, and I think we saw the kind of understanding of that. And in that last game, they definitely understood what they needed to do in order to come back into the game.
Right.
And we've seen them know how to start the game as they did in Game 1. They were phenomenal in their start in Game 1. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in 15 minutes.
Combine them both.
Yeah, they just got to be able to combine both of them together. And I think that they need to have a clear plan throughout the full game of what they want to do, but be able to adapt that as need be.
And that does remain to be true. Red side will be the target for the Northeastern team. We're going to see Irelia, we're going to see Thresh, we're going to see Rumble. I want to see whether or not we'll see Lee Sin banned away from Boise State.
I can't imagine that they're going to want to drop something else, because they got to either let the Rumble through or they're going to have to let the Thresh through or something else. I mean, they have to drop something.
What was their third ban? The Rumble's going to go through no matter what, because it's Ascent.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I wonder if they let the Bard through or not.
I think that the composition that they took it up against in Game 1 was not the most ideal for Bard. I think that they needed a little bit more follow-up.
Okay, set ban being placed from Boise State, or against Boise State, sorry.
Very interesting. So they are going to ban out the set. So I'd be curious to see who Boise State wants to first pick here, just because Lee Sin, it looks like he's going to be up, I would think.
If this Lee Sin ban isn't coming through, it's going to be first pick for sure.
Well, they got to ban Thresh. They've perma-banned it both games. I can't imagine they want to drop it now.
Yeah, let Lightpost play Thresh. What's the worst that could happen? Okay.
So I would guess Boise State's definitely going to take the Camille here. I think it's such a strong pick, and it's so important. I mean, it's decided top lane, and it's been on the winning side of both times. So
right.
I think Camille definitely is a strong pick right now. Wow.
Okay. Rescinding to maybe have counter pick for top lane?
Fior is still up. I wonder if they're
Yeah.
scouting whether or not this is a Fior game or not.
Could be. I'm just a little surprised that that's the call. I would have expected the power pick is there. I would have expected them. Wow.
Yeah, Xin Zhao is a powerful pick as well. Something that can go toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
And really the backup plan for the Broncos when Lee Sin's taken away. If for those, forget it. You all have seen Goblin play before. Ash, the other ADC in the pocket pool for Goblin, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Tempered Fate plus Bullet Time, pretty strong. There's no.
Wow.
Is this real? This is a real talent.
Dang.
Now, this can be Talon jungle.
I think Talon is very good.
Yeah.
I think Talon's underrated. I think the wall hopping ability is such an underrated tool.
So dumb.
If used properly, Talon is very good. I think it just depends how you use him properly, because a lot of people are going to want to instantly like use his Q, for example, to try to jump to them to gap close, which you can do fine. I mean, in certain instances, but it also acts as a critical strike too if you're close enough and doesn't make
I think they're
jump you.
banking on this not being Talon mid with the Corki ban coming out.
Yeah.
Because it can flex jungle with recent.
I would have expected it. I think it's a jungle.
Poppy's getting a ban.
I think it's jungle.
I think this is Talon jungle, and I mean we've seen how aggressive Boise State wants to be with the Lee Sin, let alone
Yeah.
with the Talon.
Dude,
on
I mean,
top.
that's just more of a go button. I mean, you've got the R, obviously, but he can just hop over any obstacle that he's running into.
If anything, this hopefully is a treat. Echo being banned from the Broncos side, yeah, good call. We're probably seeing the bottom lane set in stone for both sides, though.
Yeah, I would imagine this one's going to be mid lane. Just continue to take those picks away unless they really want to save mid.
Ascent can play a couple weird things, Azir being one of them. Maybe not the weirdest on the big stage, but at least for this competition, we haven't yet to see an Azir.
At least we don't have to see Corki Azir.
Yes, the best matchup in the history of League of Legends. Still has the Cassiopeia and Kassadin available. May opt for one of those.
I think Cassiopeia here, if it's going to be available to him. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
Miasma's
Well,
pretty dirty as a deterrent against these two, Xin Zhao and Lucian.
it does look like
The Stand United comp still coming out.
it does look like a pick did come through. There we go. Yeah, so they
Camille
are
is it?
saving the pick from mid lane last.
Okay. Reasonably so. We've seen the lane matchup go the way of Elo Dad here in the top lane against Coach, but as we've seen so far, Camille being the 100% win rate so far in the series. Could be disastrous. What I do think is interesting, though, Stand United works while Talon stealth.
Yes.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No way.
Is this a pro draft bug? Somebody tell me what's happening. Is this really true?
Is this-
Is this real life?
So this is a real. It's confirmed. This is real.
What is happening?
So wait, is it Trin jungle?
No, it's got to be trend mid
Is
or
it-
trend top. We've seen Nemesis do trend mid like
Yeah, but I think this might be Trin jungle.
Silas.
What if
Trin
this?
jungle?
I think this was a. See, I think this was a.
Can't gank with trend jungle.
I think that. Well, he's got a long spin plus that slow.
It's not good.
The slow is actually pretty significant.
As trend jungle, you concede. Say laners, sorry. I'm farming. I'm farming the whole game.
No,
I'm coming out of jungle with an Infinity Edge.
You don't have to. I mean, that slow is very significant. Even at level 1, I think it's 30% plus a. I believe it. I
But
believe
only if they're turned away.
yes, but they're not going to be looking at you if you're coming in.
That's the best thing to do is look right at Tryndamere as he runs at you
Right.
with the one giant sword.
Right, but but they're gonna need to run away because there's a Shen that's gonna taunt them, and I think this could work if it's Trin jungle. I could see how this is gonna work,
I mean,
and
Talon's done just the biggest flex ever because we were
right,
we were promising that was Talon jungle, but Tryndamere throws everything in the mix.
and I think why it's so genius is just because now you have Talon who is going to be able to roam away and it's going to be fine. And you don't have to really deal with the Silas too much. I mean, you just
rake wave
Right.
clear and walk. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got the mobility to get places fast, and he's obviously going to be rushing Ghostblade and maybe getting Swifties or something like that to be even faster. And I think that that's a big deal as well. Just avoiding that. But I think this Tryndamere could be a very interesting pick if it's actually going to be the jungle pick. But these two picks could definitely be flipping the game, and I like I like the variance. I mean, it's a best of one. Get wild.
Yeah, true. I mean, we saw last week Boise State kind of be put on their head and upside down based off a Rengar jungle Graves mid flex. So they've done one of their own here in this game. We'll have to see how it does match up, but it does not matter. We don't have the rules. Doc's got the keys to the game, and in League of Legends, Doc's keys to the game are focus a strong comp. I think both of these teams have done very well with that. Play to your comp. Remember your win con and dragon control. And I mean, that's I can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and I think both these teams, when you consider their win conditions, I think both teams, they've got early and mid game elements to them. They've got late game elements to them. I mean, this is going to be as action packed as you really can get.
And just as a reminder, Doc's keys to the game are brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And you can do that with Tryndamere Jungle. You know, that's an opportunity for you. Now, the only right skin is Demon Blade Tryndamere. I won't fight that.
I don't even know any other skins for Tryndamere.
He doesn't have any. Not at all. Has no other skins besides that one.
Now, Talon has a lot of good skins. I think Dragon Blade Talon's really cool.
Dragon Blade Talon's good. Blood Moon Talon's really cool.
That's a good one.
Samsung Galaxy White?
I think it's white. Yeah,
SSW.
Yeah, it's white. And then there's another one, I believe.
He's got the one with the Power Ranger helmet, which is cool.
Yes. But he's got a lot of cool skins, underrated ones.
Does have so many cool skins.
Or wait, actually, you already said Blood Moon. I was gonna say Blood Moon is.
Blood Moon is cool, so we'll say it again. So just for those, again, joining us. I don't know where you've been. This is game 3, but here's the lineup for the Boise State Broncos: Elo, Dad, Mortar, Ascent, Goblin, and Light Pulse hitting the rift here soon with a spicy comp of their own. Spicy's been the adjective of the night for me, I think. And, you know, I can't really find a better one because tonight has been spicy.
Yeah, it's been pretty spicy.
Chili's, we're coming for your money.
Yeah, it's been pretty spicy. There's been a lot of action back and forth. I mean, you've hardly had time to get a breath back. You know, I'm trying to spell you here.
Being a big guy like myself, the best thing about it is the fact that I got big lungs.
Well, I've been trying to spell you here, give you a chance to just get your breath back, and all of a sudden I get 2 words and another fight's breaking out, you know?
So, historically in the past, we've called that the Glovely curse. Glovely's been a fantastic analyst for us for years, and whenever we wanted to have like an in-depth item breakdown in the lull of the game, we would try to throw it to Glovely. Every time it happened, action would immerse and explode. So then we started purposely throwing it to Glovely to try and get action to happen. So I apologize. You've been Glovely'd.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. It's just, you know, it is what it is. It's just like what happened when we said blue side is the one that always wins, and then red side has come out.
It's this desk has supernatural powers, especially in the month of October.
Yeah.
And just, again, those who are unprivy to this fact, Boise State versus Northeastern in this do or die game 3, and I was right. It is Talon Jungle.
There's a lot of spiciness. There's a lot of spiciness going on here.
Boom. Talon's got no flash. Boom.
So, Ignite Talon, Ghost Tryndamere. He has flash at least. Lucian took Exhaust, which I think's interesting.
MF's got PTA this time, so Goblin does not want to play the same style either.
Yeah, and that's not an Electrocute Talon either, which I would have thought it would have been something like that. It's a Conqueror. So he's going.
Oh my!
Oh!
This is the best jungler in the history of North America.
Strats.
Giving over any advantage to your mid lane. He's got no skin.
No. This is
no Tryndamere skin.
Wait. This is even more. Oh, well, I guess it's. Oh, dang! It's gonna expire. I was gonna say this is even more big brain because he hit it. He built up the rage.
Oh.
And so then the rage would have been there already, and then he could have gotten an extra wave push, but it just expired as the wave down.
This does not feel good as Silas, by the way.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be horrible, I think, early on. I think Tryndamere just dominates this matchup early.
Bard does not have Ignite this time. It's got the Exhaust. He wants to keep one of their carries mitigated throughout the rest of the game. This is the supportal combat that we all like to see. Hiccups she's got some plays of her own, though. Looking for maybe a bubble opportunity here. Goes for the heal instead. Gets the 2-proc off the spell piece edge. Here comes some biscuits in the top lane. Nice snack to eat. Talon keeping up pace with what some would call an actual jungler, Gal. Let's see where, I think they're both posturing for bottom side ganks.
I think they've got to be looking at mid here. I mean, that's pretty steep right now. I mean, that's 13-5, and he just picked one up.
Oh, sorry. Oh, nice exhaust. The flash! Oh, the ignite to capitalize on it. And no one's in the wings to pick this up. Unfortunately, the damage just too high. We've seen this early game go this way before. Northeastern's got the dynamic duo so far in the bottom lane, and they have some practice on this duo.
Yeah, definitely, and Oink did a good job comboing those autos out there. I think he ended up getting out 5 auto attacks, 2 of those double hits plus at 1 before he got away, and that ended up making sure that Bard was going to go down there, unfortunately, for Boise State.
I love this pick. I think Trinity mid so obnoxious for the other team to deal with because he just can't die.
Wait a minute.
Eat the minion! Abduct, abscond, whiffs in a big way, and it did get the flash from Ascent because he thought otherwise, but still.
He's still got E and Ghost, so
yeah,
he's still got those tools.
This is a Tryndamere build that typically goes like Gale Force for their mythic.
Yeah.
Hyper mobile Tryndamere, which is the scariest thing.
Yeah, and really, when you look at Northeastern, how do you solve Tryndamere? You don't have that traditional, meatball that you usually throw at Tryndamere in order to eat up the Tryndamere damage.
No, you have to force him to fight. And Boise State, I mean, upon this further investigation that's not Tryndamere jungle, this is a 1-3-1 comp.
Yeah, and look who's topside.
It's Talon with Ignite. We've seen how eager Coach is to fight with Jen. Some of them are making on them. Top will miss. Shadow Assault not going to be there.
Wait.
But the retaliation will force Hiccup to flash. Yes, Jin Zhao's here, but use
Alcove to perfection.
Alcove diff, honestly. But Bard's such a funny character for that reason alone.
Wow, that's TP burn topside.
Forced the TP. Doesn't want to get too behind it. He knows he's got a health advantage. Talon's just waiting in the wings. Here comes a bubble. Goblin going to be snatched up by it. This is going to be, this is teetering on dangerous. The blocking of the auto attack. Here comes the ignite and the rake. The auto attack will be the last one there, but he has nothing to jump to.
Oh
and
my.
He'll sit in the bush in shame for messing it up. But to be fair, well played by Coach.
Well, and you know what's hilarious? Elo Dead still has flash.
That's true. That is true. Nice exchange. Bubble will miss. He will be there. Going to be used on themselves for damage as opposed to healing up their ADC. Questionable call there, but I'm not a support main, so I don't know.
I think Lucian's got enough HP.
He's fine. That's the he's fine enchanter mentality.
Yes.
He can't be killed from that health.
Yeah.
Damage exchange again between both supports. Tryndamere sitting on full rage bar. Looking for a little bit more of a trade. I think you use rage here to heal and then farm. Good call. He knows the matchup.
Yeah. He's an experienced Tryndamere versus Silas player.
Oh yeah. In the past 2 months, this is probably one of the more extreme matchups.
Oh, he's got R now.
Got the ability to have the bar there. Gets the Q. Just missed though on the Silas because of the dash. Still a 2v2 though. iPulse is comfortable just auto attacking the mid laner, just casually.
Silas is running out of mana though. He's gonna have to go back soon.
He does still have TP.
Oh,
nice exchange.
Supportal combat.
Supportal combat. Goes for the exhaust, waiting for anyone to hook him up. And there's the backup. Reagan into Mortar's arms. It's not a Lee Sin, but it's just as deadly. That is the Iron Spike whip combo. Oh my gosh, is this going to be Gore Drinker Talon?
Ooh. Gore Drinker seems to be working well for Mortar, so I can understand the affinity for it, no matter the champion.
Gets a kill on the Talon.
Exactly.
Still up in CS, forcing Jin Zhao away from his own jungle. And
look at the camp difference.
Yeah, camp difference, and this mid lane pressure means that, unfortunately, Phoenix can't rotate out.
And top diff, too.
Everything.
Look at the CS top side, too. I mean, Boise State top side. It's killing it right now.
This is a
with their
win lane
pace
team so far.
Yeah.
Sans maybe bot lane, but
Bot lane's holding fine.
Bot lane's holding just fine. Here comes the hook shot. Dodges away.
Just barely still in the dodge zone there. Elodad nearly wasn't, and that could have been a lot of damage, potentially looking at him going down.
Looking for a rotation to the top lane. Gonna hop over the wall.
Sinjao's
Dangerously
there.
close though. This could be dangerous. Looking for maybe a fight here. Going for another
the
black
flash.
combo land. This time they're gonna walk into the Camille. She's just waiting to go on what side of the wall.
Wait a
Here comes
minute.
Zhao.
Wait,
A 1v1.
wait a minute.
Shadow Assault will be used instead. The ultimate
Wait a
damage
minute.
coming up.
Oh.
But no, you separated Camille dead.
Oh,
He needs your assistance. Here comes the TP from the Silas. This is going to be huge. He's going to dash over the wall. Get himself to maybe another wall.
Oh,
Bard flash auto! As
Talon!
goes from bottom lane.
Oh!
Talon, Mortar cannot die. He steals the Bard ulti, Tempered Fate. Goes for the full combo. Gets an instant double. As Phoenix is now playing with fire. From the ashes they rise and maybe pick up a triple kill. That will be a triple for Phoenix. Boise State did have a bit of an edge, but it'll be quickly turned away from them. All the while, Trinimir's doing Trinimir things and hitting structures the whole game.
Well,
the
gold's only 300 different, and especially if he gets this plate
wait
back.
for it. And
200. So, okay, it's 200 now, and if Camille tries to stick to this matchup, Trinimir should just slam her because he is up 46 CS if that matchup is going to be the one that holds.
Oink, uncharacteristically missing a full calling, but probably much to the happiness of Goblin. Doesn't want to tank one of those full ones again. You see these items come out. Berserker Greaves means that Ascent just wants to shove this as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah,
Rightfully so. I mean, keeping the pressure on one lane of the map will make it so someone will have to answer or you'll have to sacrifice it. Giving Trinimir a lead, scary thing to do.
Well, they lost CS on that trade. I mean, they didn't send Phoenix topside, and instead, Camille probably has lost out on 15 at this point, just based on the swing of things. Be running to it and not really having much there because the wave was already crashed once Trinimir was hitting that tower, and then on the way back up as well. Shen's pushing this up. I don't think she's going to be able to get all of this.
Oh, there's going to be a fight off of it as well.
Oh, my!
Here, Talon will secure the dragon, but here comes the Shadow Assault as well. Missing away. Oh! Here comes the Undying Rage, and it will actually suffice to get him enough time to get the kill. He got away as well.
I think he did.
I think he's alive. Silas looking
That's
for
a Trinimir
blood.
ult,
Phoenix
though.
is so hungry for something. But Boise State will take the spoils and run away with it.
And
the dragon and some kills to boot.
And they've got the gold lead back as well. I mean, great execution there on the Dragon Steel. They moved in as a team and ended up coming out on top on that one. And we saw the Trinimir difference there. I mean, he has so much gold. I mean, he just straight up bought Berserker's Greaves, a pickaxe, and the cloak.
No, he's had the Greaves.
I thought he just got him.
No, he's had them. I
Okay.
mentioned them right before we talked about it.
Oh,
It's fine.
my apologies, my apologies.
Cloak and pickaxe, though. That's, what, 1,400 gold?
I think that's 16.
That's a lot of money. That's a chunk of change. Trinimir looking in a 1v1, not having the race backed up, but that full grass
man.
rock with the extra attack speed from the taunt. Man, Shen does so much damage. I love Shen.
Yeah, he's a very good champion, and he's quite underrated in just terms of how strong he can be. Just doesn't have the damage scaling like most of those bruisers.
Do you think they ever release another energy champion?
I hope so. I think it's a cool mechanic.
Yeah. Especially how they have to incorporate how to regain
Yes.
the energy. Kennen being, I think, the only one that doesn't just gain energy passively through abilities or anything like that. You just have to suffer.
No, Kennen does.
Through what? Disease?
No, if you hit stuns.
Hit the pause.
Okay,
we're good.
wait. We're good.
We're good?
We're good. I think we're good.
He Undying Rage on his keyboard instead.
The Undying Rage was just a little bit late there to save him from the game, but we're back now. And, you know, Kennen does, though, because if you connect a stun, so you hit a Q, a W, a E, for example, you get the stun, you get energy back on a champion.
Oh, okay. I like Kennen.
I think Akali doesn't get energy back.
Doesn't she?
I think so. Maybe I don't know Kali. I mean, I know Kennen well
doesn't
enough.
she with her passive for the auto attack on the champion after
Oh,
hitting
yeah.
something, walking out of the circle, coming back in for that next auto.
That's a good point.
She gets it back.
Okay.
And then Zed, you have to hit with your shadow.
Yeah. I think. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a Zed get mana back or energy back.
I mean, with presence of mind existing, they all get the free.
Well, yeah.
But I think if you hit any champion with your shadow and your U and your E, then you get energy back.
Okay.
So it's like a very, most Zeds don't do it because you never want to be where your shadows are.
Yeah.
Talk about energy users later. The rest of the game's still happening in front of us.
Exactly.
Boise State really still holding on to this lead. Going up and down 100 here or there.
Ooh.
Nice respect in the bottom lane and engage. Can be found onto the town. Has no wall to jump over just yet. We'll find it, but he'll be followed as the damage will continue to come through.
Wait a minute.
79 is going to be here.
Wait a minute.
Here's the hook shot. Dodging away from the auto attacks. Still available to dodge away. But here's Trinity from
cavalry.
the auto attacks. Will he be able to lock one down? Yes. So much damage coming up from these two. But the Stolen Stand United will keep away this.
Bard's here. He's got art.
Oh, but here comes the Bard looking for
Wait a
the
minute.
opportunity. He
He
actually
got
lands it. Goes for the Q. He'll land it as well. This is why you cannot allow this man to have Bard. As Light Pulse from downtown will find the third kill here for Boise State.
Great reactions there, and good job by Mortar to stay alive. But bottom lane tower, that's basically going to be going down soon. I mean, they're going to have to use this Rift Herald, I think, to try to get first tower, first. But I think that mid lane tower might just be low enough. A straight usage of it should get it.
And costing that resource and time. They're not going to fight for it. Looks like a race that they don't want to. It looks like they're
Gonna go bottom.
Is this gonna work?
I think so. I think it's low enough.
Oh,
nope.
It's heartbreaking.
But
will fall soon.
they're gonna collapse bottom, or at least they thought about it.
Watch still up as well, so no one's won that
boy.
race yet for first tower. Gosh, the voice cracks are coming. Oh no! The prize and price of Bastion, I guess. But here comes the Gale Force. Lucian picking up one pretty early. Going ahead in the lane. Trinamere also picking up one as well. And we do see that Gore Drinker coming out from this talent. Not the typical lethality talent that we usually see in the mid lane. Instead, it's a consistent team fight talent with the Conqueror, with the Gore Drinker. He just wants to throw out as many rotations of abilities as possible.
I think this is very much the I get near you, I kill you.
Yeah, this is the, oh, I have bleeds that do physical damage that heal me, I will never die. Talent.
Oh my.
Another pick,
The
a flash will be given out. Wounds cannot escape, but they'll go in on the town themselves. Here comes the ultimate back. And the Gale Force finisher from Ascent, and he'll go forward. The dash backwards will block over, and he'll go over the wall. FCO dash, be damned. As the rest of the damage, and the Bard E will expire. Lucian desperately trying to use that tunnel for their own safety, will be turned away, and Ascent picks up, going out 3-0-2. We're worried about this Trinity be having an impact, but Ascent showing why this is a powerful pick. And he's not done yet. The exhaust will come out. It's a 1v2. So much healing. He'll take the Undying Rage himself. Get himself almost to safety, but a shutdown will come through. And the dash away from the bullet time. Phoenix is playing so well this game.
Wait a minute, Talon.
Talon's coming in from the backside, looking to maybe thwart their efforts to go for the execute. Bard walking into the face of this guy, but it's not enough. The rake in the queue with that Gore Drinker will be enough. Light Pulse facing in front of Nami. So much. There's so much.
You've heard of Echo in a bush, but have you heard of the scary Talon in the bush?
Echo in the bush. Have you ever heard of Talon in a bush?
You've heard, and Lucian with no vision.
And Lucian with no vision. With that though, and a lot of the effort being there to save the play on the Boise State side of things, Northeastern will pick up the second Drake.
Red team has slain.
It's gonna even out the Drake count here at 1.
Mountain. Oh! I have power! This is great for talent.
Yeah.
More walls, you don't have a separate cooldowns for each of those. The E and Light Pulse will
Kill
KS,
secure.
meaning kill secured in this instance. That poor Nami.
Yeah, that's another kill secure there. And that's going to be Another kill here for Boise State, though. They're doing a good job really starting to stack those up here. And you look at it, I mean, Lucian's got a farm lead of 30 on Goblin, but he's 0-2, and Nami's 1-3. I mean, that bot lane is not that much ahead by any stretch of the imagination. And this Shen's super strong right now. And then you look, really right now, the Silas is the only one who's very strong, and I think Trendham here might be stronger than he is.
Shen's so confident, but maybe too confident. 2 versus 1 will be a surprise. Elodad hookshot will be there. Hextech ultimatum already used. Can he get himself to safety? He'll stay in the nullifying zone for as long as he can, but he'll buy enough time for his team to get a tower in the bottom lane. Resources expended in the top side of the map. It looks like Mortar is going to be found out. Looking for, gets the smite secure. Nice way. Maybe looking for an opportunity to dive onto this Nami. A lot of pinks coming out from both sides, and we see all the members, both Boise State as well as Northeastern, collapsing. They'll get the Jin Zhao yet again, but they do not feel confident engaging as you hear the back pings being spammed on the Boise State roster.
Well, there would have been no 80 carries for that fight. I mean, Misfortune and Lucian both were not going to be coming to that fight. Lucian sitting in the bot lane, still Misfortune backed in base at the moment. So it would have been a 4-on-4 between the two teams, and I think Boise State feels they don't have the damage without Misfortune to take that fight.
So this is the Vori quick blade second item for Tournament. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's equal to the most expensive item, but on Trinamere specifically, it's like one of the strongest items in the game.
Yeah.
We'll have to see as we see the rest of these items coming out. Another Shurelia's battle song coming out. Nice movement speed with those mobility boots, and Bard being as fast as they are with the W movement speed, as well as picking up the Mumblos. I know they're called chimes, but they're Mumblos in my heart. It never changed my mind. Forever Mumblos. And we see Silas opting for first item Zonias before any mythic ever Frostily picked up at a later date, just to keep himself alive.
And he's still losing this matchup.
Losing this matchup here because the Talon as well. Going to dive as well with the ultimate. So much healing. Stand United will be grabbed. Maybe taking the Talon ult in that situation gives you enough stealth to get yourself under tower to Zonias to safety, but what do I know? I'm just a jungle.
Well, is this the tactical death to get the Stand United?
This is the tactical death.
To get
maybe a tactical death in the top lane. So much fighting. Tidal Wave will come out. The Gale Force as well, and Coach will bait it. Hook, line, and sinker with that Hextech ultimatum saying, "You can't fight me. I got my little hiccup here."
Yeah, if that's Rift will drop bottom though, that could potentially push for in him.
3 members on the top side of the map for Northeastern. There's no one here to defend this.
Yeah.
Goblin being again the target of the Collings, but that means that even Lucian now loses a lot of their wave clear abilities. It's going to be a race, trading tier 2 for tier 2. Looks like maybe the goal. No members for Boise State to respond in the top lane either. You know, I could say that I could predict things here in this game, but I cannot. Here comes the ultimate under the tower, and Talon looks to fight this out. But there's the Stand United, grabbed by Phoenix. Will keep Oink alive and from going down into the ashes. What a fantastic play there from them.
Tactical death.
Tactical death. You get a faster back if you die.
And he got the Stand United there, which kept alive Oink. And now that's gonna.
Look how fast this is.
He's sitting at max chimes, mobility boots, a Cloud Dragon.
He's booking us.
Yeah.
That man busted.
That's almost like a Corky package speed, man. Like
that's the goal. I always love to see whether or not bards are comfortable turning off towers like that, as part of their kit.
Yeah.
It's always so interesting to see, does the bard all use defensively to stop burst damage? Does it use aggressively to catch things for the team to walk up and follow suit, back up the pick? It's always so cool because Champion's got so much versatility within just that one ability.
Yeah. And I think that Bard is one of the few champions that really can make a defensive-focused team offensive, with the amount of versatility and playmaking offered in his kit.
A lot of true damage coming out. Trinity Force being picked up versus the Divine Sunder means that Camille has a bit more sticking power, but no burst, or not as much burst. But going against Shen, you may need that burst just to stay alive.
Nice W from the Jinzhao, able to find out that there's someone still in the bush. Boise State has complete reign over this river, and Dragon is up. It's just a matter of them deciding to take it.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big mountain for them as well because it allows them to be tankier.
They engage, gets a flash out of Nami, as Hiccup is terrified. As a support player, though, seeing a talent jump on yourself, who would react otherwise? Here comes an engage. He's still invisible. They can't find him. And the Stand United is here, the Jet delivery system. But on the backside, both these teams are split up. Undying Rage will be given over. It'll be a 1 versus 1. Silas is going to go ballistic there. The bullet time will separate the fights, but beyond that, nothing more happens. Boise State picks up the Dragon. Luigi going for a 1v4. Will pick up 1, but wasn't worth it. I don't know.
2 for 3.
And the drag.
And he gave up flash to do it. I just don't
It's
know.
not over. Mortar looking in for an engage. Continuing to keep himself alive, but he's
Oh
only
my.
a Talon.
Oh!
He
Oh, he
barely
got
gets himself
out!
on the final wall offered
Oh my
by
God!
Mandrake. And here
Is
comes
anyone
Eel
going to
again.
die?
One more auto.
What?
But Life Pulse will die. The Greed will ultimately be his demise.
Ow, ow.
Phoenix is, despite us complimenting Boise State, big surprise where Boise State streamed. Phoenix is playing incredibly well.
Yeah, he definitely is. And I think if you took that screen of Talon being at 10% HP, and you took Bard, and you took Silas and Nami, you took that screenshot all next to each other, and you told me Bard was the one to die out of those 4.
Right.
I don't think I would have believed you.
I wouldn't believe you either.
I think I would have said it's either going to be Silas or it's going to be Talon.
Coming up on our next game show, Who Dies Here? Siphon will take a picture and show you. You got to guess 1 out of 4. Winner gets 2 RP. Don't know how we'll work that out, but we'll figure it out. That'd be a good game show.
Yeah. Guess
Speaking
that
of
death.
Guess who dies? Boise State, within that though, maybe a little bit rocky. They did extend their gold lead to about 3K. And again, they've shown that they're comfortable and know what to do with this lead. But an opportunity like this only comes once in a lifetime. Nami getting the Stand United again? Wait, what's the cooldown on stealing that ultimate away?
I think it's been a little while though since he's used it the first time.
Used for almost a frivolous cause though. I feel that Hiccup maybe wanted Northeastern wanted to use that in a more crucial time.
Yeah.
Let alone the Nami just walking in the tournament, which never feels good.
And
but they still remain in control of the river. Thinking about expanding their vision now as well.
Yeah, and you look at this here. I mean, Boise State's got control of this bottom side, and Shen's just been sitting down there free farming. Talon's really open to CS lead up.
Nami again. This feels so bad as a support. He's running at me, guys. Help! Tidal Wave has been used already. Giant Rage will be here. He trims the town to capitalize on this, but the Hextech Ultimatum will keep things safe. That is a huge shield. Does Nami have the damage to pop him? No. And that will be a pick regardless. Nami's best efforts. Only question mark I had on that play from Hiccup is why not run under the tower? I don't know.
Should we take a guess on how many times Stand United will be involved between Tryndamere and the Nami?
6 more times.
Okay, because we already are at 2, I think.
2 total?
At least 2.
So I'll just say 6 times total.
Okay,
4
we're at
more
least
times.
2, because in the last 2 minutes we saw it twice.
I mean, what better target to ult than Tryndamere, right? Because the shield is extremely scaled by how much missing health the target has.
Yes.
And with Tryndamere not able to die at 1 HP,
That's true.
target.
That is true.
I know some things.
Yeah?
I've known a thing or two, and he does end up going for the Devori Quick Blade. What the Zeal becomes maybe Phantom Dancer?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the Phantom Dancer, I think, gives him...
It gives so much sticking power, right?
Yeah, I would think so. And plus, it still gives the shield, I believe, right?
Does it have a shield? I thought it just had Phantom Walls on
It used to have a shield. I thought...
no longer has Bloodline on it. I know that.
Okay, then maybe...
It was not. It's Mortal Reminder.
No, I think
He built it in Immortal Reminder.
Oh, well, I guess we're both wrong.
We're both wrong. Phantom Dancer does kind of make sense because
Yeah.
now when you attack 3 times, you get attack speed and movement speed.
Yeah.
With Ghost and Gale Force is kind of his motif.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like a good idea. We're just dumb. We're not Tryndamere mid mains.
We're not
obviously.
the experts here on Tryndamere mid.
Oh, but looks like Silas with the Everfrost doesn't even matter.
Oh.
Goes back in to dodge the Tempered Fate. Lazonia's instead, almost a trade of abilities, takes Undying Rage. Look for, I don't know how that landed. But Tryndamere will be popped, and Ultimate not available, but they're going to continue on. Here comes the Cole. Here comes the hook shot as well. They find one. They're going to find Talon. He's going to go stealth. They're running out of walls to go into. Here comes the Rage for the slow. The Hextech ultimatum of their own, and here comes the bullet time. The stand by themselves and shoot. So much damage being given over, but no one can get the kill. And Northeastern finds an ankle and gets away with it. 3 members of Boise State will be sent scurrying.
Meanwhile, top lane.
Hashtag meanwhile top lane, I guess. He did pop the Stand United,
Yes, he
which
did.
means that he was willing to join the fight.
But he still has TP.
They died. Yeah, he didn't TP and ult, so this top laner is trolling, obviously.
But, you know, 2 dragons apiece now for both teams. He does get the tower.
A mighty tower to get. No one's there to back up this Camille, but he does not know that. Again, we've seen this before.
The backup is coming.
Overconfidence. They are now rotating. They've been spotted?
Are they going for the Baron or are they going for him?
They're going for Shen, the high priority target.
They got to stop him from getting 200 CS.
And Boise State is trying to use this bot time as much as possible, shoving down this mid lane. Living surprisingly long, Elodad will finally perish.
Yeah,
Does that
wave's
mean
here.
that they've sacrificed yet another tier 2 tower for it?
I think that is. I mean,
I think this is a hashtag worth.
Yeah, I think that's really worth because that's now 2 towers for 0.
Because they look for the Talon, looks for an engage. Rake will keep him safe because of that slow.
It's 4v5.
It's a 4
Or
versus
4
5.
4.
They-
It's 4 versus 4. Sorry.
They force Silas to base. He does have TP to join, but they do have an explosive team fight. They're going to start the
Wow,
Baron.
that's a
This
bold
is
call.
such a bold call from Northeastern. We've seen bold calls in Game 2 pay off for Boise State. Will the same thing remain the same for Northeastern here? They do not find it. Here comes the Q. The root as well. Running away, we'll have to be both Bard and Tryndamere. Comes the Hextech ultimatum. He can only dodge so many bullets. The Cole will be giving out so much damage by just this Lucian. And Boise State cannot find a united front. Northeastern continues to split them apart.
Yeah, good again by Northeastern, choosing their targets wisely there. And Goblin, I mean, didn't get a chance to get that bullet time off. I mean, maybe if he'd been able to, that could have definitely changed the fight. But Northeastern's doing a good job here, using the mobility that they've provided themselves as a base to change where the engagements are happening. I mean, they're engaging, like that fight started in the middle of the river and it basically moved towards the front of the tier 1 tower.
I have a request from production. Someone tell me how many levels does Ascent have in his ultimate? Because he's supposed to have 1. Mid Tryndamere, you max all your other abilities first because the ultimate gives you like a 10-second cooldown. Not substantial enough. I can't see it.
Well,
You guys can see it. There's banners here that we can't see. I know it's a big ask, but I'm just curious. I'm being nitpicky, I guess.
well, he is the expert, so I would assume he's got
he knows
this one
what's up.
covered. Yeah,
He's got it covered. He's got the level 1
Yeah.
ulti for sure.
yeah. But he is level, I mean, he is level 15, and everybody is around that mark anyway. But big difference to highlight here is Talon is level 15, Xin Zhao's not.
True. Nice disengage. You're going to continue to try and fight the Camille. As an adaptive shield, the blood will be ticking through it. Here comes the Tempered Fate. We'll find one. Where's the rest of the engage for Boise State? The
Wait a
Tidal Wave
minute.
will be there to disengage, but on the backside is Tryndamere. And Ascent is
that's
going crazy. He'll find the back line. He cannot block the ult in time, but he'll find 2 and take it away. 4 versus 3 will remain the victors. Boise State trying to fight with what resources they have left. Roll time will come out. Half the health bar will be remaining. Shen will take one out. Elodad will be at the bastion. He'll be at the separation between these 2 teams. And Boise State will find the ace. Wait there it goes. And bada bing, bada ace for Boise State. Drop the mic.
Big ace there from Boise State. What a fight there from Ascent. I mean, great Bard ultimate to start off, pins him into a corner. Beautiful engage. And
imagine if Ascent got the ulti off, though.
and Ascent does the typical Tryndamere of not pressing R.
I was an alpha. I swear, dude, I pressed R.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He took over that game, or that fight rather, and just deletes 2 members instantly. Lucian, gone.
It's a tactical death. Now he has ult for the next fight.
Exactly. 2 for 1 though at the end of the day from that perspective of the fight. But then great positioning from Goblin as well, making sure he was staying safe. It got a full use of the ultimate there. Basically took Phoenix out of the fight completely and made him not as strong as he could have been for that second round of the engagement.
And that extends their lead to now 6,000. It's growing ever so slightly, and what they do with it remains to be seen. Boise State looks like they're trying to end it. They miss out on the Tempered Fate. Looking to push, continue down mid lane. Tryndamere will base. Does have a lot of mobility within their kit to catch back up.
I think he might have Bork done.
Is this a fork? Yeah.
It is.
Because of the active movement speed steal. Or the passive movement speed steal.
Yep, and then the lifesteal certainly isn't going to hurt either from that perspective as well.
They're not really needing lifesteal, it's just icing on top.
Oh yeah. Well,
the stealth submarine's here! Here comes Elo Dad! Coming through with the Stand United. And they find one. Again, continuing to pick apart these low health members. It doesn't matter if Tryndamere's scaled up. You'll be taunted in place. You'll fall to the demise of Ascent as he has ascended now into the carry position. Tryndamere's online, baby. Oh my gosh, this is as a support player, how does this feel right here? Let me feel your thoughts.
You last as long as you can.
There you go. That was it. 1 member remains. We've seen, 2 members remain. Coach as well as Oink. Boise State looking for the throat. They got the vice grip. Tryndamere diving in. There goes the stopwatch. He's going to buy some time, but the stun's going to be there. Barely misses. Tryndamere dashes in. The shutdown yet again. The dying rage remains to be unused. Shen going forward with the shadow assault will not find anyone.
Oh no.
And Boise State's overzealous dive is torn asunder.
Oh no.
Just needed to press the R, man.
Oh no, the TP!
Here comes the TP! Can they get themselves to safety? Does not stop it. It does actually slow down the home guards quite substantially.
Oh.
Has some more walls to dodge.
Oh, he got...
Silas cannot go through these walls, but Bard can. Hookshot gonna maybe look for more targets here. Instead, they'll pick up themselves the Drake point that is the second mountain for them.
Well,
I think they could end it.
They could have. I mean, I think did he have stopwatch too?
Has stopwatch and ult. Maybe he doesn't have stopwatch. We'll give that one a pass.
Yeah, okay.
But the ulti, though.
Yeah, the ulti definitely. But it's okay. He just wants to pad the KDA. It's fine.
You're padding the KDA and dying. I don't know.
I don't know. It's tactical. They gotta reset the gold.
Tactical, though.
Gotta reset the gold.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about what tactical means in your vocabulary after this broadcast. I've seen some stuff in my ELO like this, and that's not good. That's not tactical. That's reportable. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Some people, you guys are better than me. It's okay. But it is questionable to some extent. It's a question mark because, while in layman's terms, you can say that was a bad idea. That's not very nice.
Oh my.
In caster lingo, you say, I don't quite understand. I don't quite understand what this Jin Zhao's doing, but it ended up working out for Boise State. Does use the Undying Rage. Left the base as they did almost succumb a full health bar worth of damage. But that is a member off the map, and that is one less to defend these incoming waves. Boise State lacking some side control, looks like. They don't have either of these 2 side lanes pushing in as they're marching down mid lane.
Yeah, and it's going to be really big for them here to just kind of get those side lanes under control. I mean, they've got to make sure these are pushing at the right time so that when they win these fights.
This Bard build is so good. First item, Trail, get the movement speed. Second item, Cosmic Drive. For cooldown, of course. And now they're coming up with the Zonias. That makes sense, though. The Zonias make sense because it disincentivizes you to be a Hextech ultimatum target.
So where is this leading? This is leading for Rapid Fire Cannon, right?
It's got to be. I thought they were going to do that game 1.
Well, he's got 5 kills. I mean, he's got the 3rd most kills on his team.
Yeah, might as well be big.
He's got to be a damage threat.
Got to be the threat.
Yeah.
That ranged auto, that you need like just one ranged slow auto with the Meep.
Yeah.
And it can win you a team fight because no one expects you to have rapid fire. It's that one auto. Same thing with TF, right?
Yeah.
You get the one enhanced gold card and then boom, you win.
Yep. The global card.
From halfway across the map.
So Shen has double TP.
Gets the side control, but loses range control shortly after. Bot will push in. Shen's going to make sure the top's going to be pushing in actively, but Baron's going to be the next item on the menu. Boise State does get the ultimate there. Steal. Temper Fate will buy time.
Wow.
But, oh my goodness. The damage from Coach is too high. On the backside will be Trinamir. He can't get access to anything. Using the Zonias. The 9 range has already been popped. Cannot get the auto down. Shen will fall as well. Boise State gets picked apart. And because Coach was able to get access to Goblins, that whole thing started. The defensive ulti from Bard was only there to stall time.
Yeah.
And Phoenix stole Stand United, so it was not an advantage that Boise State had. I think that might be game.
Yeah, that might be a game. The death timers are long here. I mean, can Bard hold the game off? The answer is
no.
No.
The answer is no. But that will mean that Boise State will succumb to Northeastern as Game 3 will finally wrap up. Northeastern taking home the game and the series.
Yeah, and, you know, again, it was Boise State controlling things through the first 25 minutes or so. I mean, they were in control of this one and then just weren't quite able to see it out and, you know, just weren't able to close this one out just like Game 1.
Yeah, they had a plan of action. They were in themselves in the driver's seat, but one fatal mistake getting caught there. And instead, the amount of counter aggression that Northeastern was able to produce was enough to get them the W.
Yeah, it really was. And, you know, I think what's very interesting here is, you know, in everybody, I think when you look at this series, you know, Boise State controlled 2 early games out of the 3 when they played for early game. They did a great job controlling through the first 15 minutes, and they just almost ran out of ideas on what to do to how to close it out.
Yeah. Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production and broadcast talent. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. It was a tough game, but at the end of the day, Boise State will come out stronger. They're always a team to use this information to garner an advantage in the future. These are going to be highly studied to say, okay, this is what we did right. We'll continue to do this moving forward. This is what we made mistakes on. These are areas for improvement. Always part of the program here at Boise State Esports.
Yeah, definitely, and they're going to learn from this. I mean, we saw them learn from Game 1 to Game 2. They adapted. They shifted their strategy a little bit towards a Game 3 or to a later game focus, and that ended up paying dividends for them. I think they did a great job with that composition. And again, here they execute the early game portion of an early game comp well. They just couldn't quite find the necessary way to end the game again, and I think that that's just something that they, with time and as they grow more comfortable playing out these mid to late game fights with an early game composition, I think they'll learn how to do so.
Yeah, I happen to agree. You know, when it comes down to it, Boise State now going down 0-2 in this UAL means that they have that much more gumption to get themselves some W's and put those 2 losses behind them, as hopefully they continue to figure things out. To be quite honest with you, the amount of improvement that I've seen from week 1 to week 2 versus the Longhorns versus the Northeastern series drastically improved. And I only continue to anticipate that from my boys in blue and orange. I mean, it's a pleasure always to see them pop off. We saw some interesting things, so that means they have the gears turning about different comps and different champions. So I only look forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, things are looking, you know, they're looking good, and they were so close to being able to pull this one out. And if a few different things go their way, one fight goes their way in either one of those games, they're walking out here with a win. And that's just how close this game was, and I think we've seen how well they can play. They just have to be able to put it all together in one game.
Now, if you were to highlight a player, maybe give them something called, like, I don't know, player of the game or something, who would you give it to? Who's got your vote?
I think I've got to go Phoenix. I thought Phoenix definitely had a very big impact in the wins there for Northeastern. And I think he's going to be my pick.
All right. I will have to counter you. I'm going to put my vote on Ascent. No! I'm
Mortar.
gladly wrong. I'm gladly wrong. Mortar actually popped
Yes, he did.
the bleep off, if I could say that on desk, I would. Just so many fantastic mechanical plays. Continue to be that bastion for hope for their team, and really kind of was the leader, the pace setter for the team. The aggression continued to be a flexible champion, both regards for who they picked as well as in title. I think that's rightfully so.
Yeah.
The player of game, of course, is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Today's player of the game is Mortar, the Idaho Central Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And again, there are so many situations in which this man should not have lived, but continue to do so, and with supremacy. So, I mean, it is what it is. But as we, of course, prepare to close this match out, any big takeaways? Anything you're looking forward to in the future?
I think if they continue to work with the early game stuff, I think that they'll definitely be able to come out on top in a lot of their games. I think they are very creative in the way they do it, and they seem to be just super clinical when they're playing them out. And I think if they're able to fix one or two of the issues I think that they've had with their team going forward, and playing out those mid and late game fights, like we mentioned, their shot calling and their macro decision making, I think if we can get a little bit of improvement there, I think they're definitely looking really good, because they've played two pretty tough teams, super close now. They should probably at least have been walking out of here today with a win, with if one thing changes in either game 1 or game 3.
Yeah, I mean, both series going to a game 3 means that they're that much closer to figuring things out. And with that, of course, there are highlights, of course. And we are going to close out with those highlights. We're going to close out with the top 5 plays of the game. The top 5 plays of the game are brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With over 10 jobs and a $20,000 sign-on bonus and a degree of your choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. For all of us here at the desk, the production room, here back in the stage, y'all have a fantastic night. See you next time. End up getting it after resets. But here's a 2v3 at the top lane. Here comes the Hextech Ultimatum. And the Galio combo as well. Knocks up 2. The taunt will be there, but the taunt of Boise State's own. And the kicks to follow. Dragon's Rage will send a Sky. Everyone that was trying to take Boise State away put in the ground. Just an instant combo, and it's not done yet. Poppy's trying to save this, but it's not going to be enough. They'll only be pushed away for a moment. Hextech Ultimatum, the dash is gone. Poppy can't stop this ult. She can't stop the mortar train. And here comes the coin to stop a little bit of that damage coming through. Boise State called out for the location for his recall, because the rest of Boise State has blood in the water. They've sniffed him out. He will get almost one shot. Get himself to safety? No, hookshot will follow with a miss. The Zonius will spell your demise.
It was a trap.
Zonius is the best and worst item in the game. State United will keep away this
Bard's here. He's got art.
Oh, but here comes the Bard.
Wait a minute.
The opportunity. He actually lands it. Goes for the Q. He'll land it as well. This is why you cannot allow this man to have Bard. As the light pulse from downtown will find the 3rd kill here for Boise State. Something here goes forward, but the dash from Lucian is going to be huge. 2. He'll get 2. Can he get 3 here? Cannot see on the other side of the map, but Boise State will give over the 3. We'll get the 4-piece chicken McNugget, and he does! Mortar with the quadra kills in the grips of defeat will keep Boise State alive.
What